Yeah. Oh, okay. Hold on, I don't hear anything. I don't hear. Oh, there we go. Sorry.
Typeboard.
Everyone. Board. We tease, we joke. 303. All right, we're going to talk about Queen a lot, but first let's say hello.
Hello.
It's only me. It's 303. It's only the Kimmer. Good to have you aboard with Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire. What's that? And the mechanical magnet at the controls, Flounder. Once again, all by your lonesome in there in the studio booth there. No interns are back at school. And so anyway, now although we will be trying to monitor YouTube reaction. You can't hear anything?
I can't hear me. Oh, there I am. I hear me now. Yeah.
No, that one could be a little loose. The jack, sticking jack
That's what
thing.
she said.
That's right. Oh, hey, hi-oh. I'm sorry. No, it's okay, honey. I'll get around it. Anyway. It just reminds me of a story. No. Anyway, so I don't know where we are. 304. This is Fat Bottom Girls. This is unbelievable. Listen to this story. We'll talk about what we did for the weekend. Boy, you can't wait. The Queen's 1978 classic Fat Bottom Girls has now been canceled. They are leaving it off their new greatest hits collection for younger listeners, debuting on the audio platform Yoto. What the hell is Yoto? Do you know this Yoto business? Flounder, you ever heard of Yoto?
Yoto?
Yeah.
I don't.
It's
Google it here and check it out.
It's called audio platform YOTO, Yoto.
So is it like an Apple or a Spotify?
It says audio platform, so I'm assuming that's...
yeah, it's like a Pandora or a YouTube.
I can only assume. I have no idea. Let's see. Moving songs to the platform aims to introduce Queen to kids. Some are critical of the decision to omit the song from their list, said Blacking is woke or ridiculous. It's the talk of the music industry. Nobody can work out why such a good-natured, fun song can't be acceptable in today's society.
There used to be a rap group called the Fat Boys.
I know. I like Big Booty and You Can Kiss My Ass, whatever that black guy song.
Send a message to them. Don't buy the damn record.
It's unbelievable.
Don't download it.
And don't download it. Don't listen to it.
No one's telling you to listen to it.
Well, that's true. But they should know this. I mean, younger people aren't going to know that they're being screwed out of. I mean, this is really just kind of a funny song, isn't it? Is this offensive? I mean, could this really be offensive today? It's woke gone mad, one says. So I'd not appreciate people of all shapes and sizes, society saying we should rather than get rid of it.
Who's in charge of the camera? I just sent a text to our chief engineer. Why? It's kind of because you can't see Pete's face a little bit.
I moved it intentionally.
Oh, you did?
I was proving something to him earlier.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about this camera
so
here
Mike
in a second.
is in charge of the camera.
No, we're going to talk about this camera thing.
All right.
Anyway,
it makes my shirt look
Fat Bottom.
I went on my way to iron this, and that looks like crap on the YouTube thing
you can
here.
see it?
I'm sorry.
Well,
I took time to iron my shirt.
Now, you see that camera angle? That is nothing like the camera angle that was in here when they put the Facebook feed on to talk about what we're going to talk about on the show, or when we had our guest in last week.
Well, sometimes when you have a guest in, they have to readjust the camera to fit all three of the people in the room.
Especially, right now, how did the angle come from behind
Especially
me?
if they're fat.
Because there's, right now on the camera that we have, there's two settings. There's a one shot and a two shot for that right there. So when Pete's not here, you sit there and there's a one shot. When Pete's here, it's zoomed out a little bit with a two shot.
Right, but you know the picture I sent you on your phone. You have I texted you the picture, and it shows the camera angle coming from behind the right-hand number 2 microphone.
It's a mystery. Yeah. Let's move on.
I mean, seriously, you've got to look at it, and you tell me how that camera can shoot this angle.
Okay,
there's a pinhole camera heading in here.
It's radio. No one knows what you're talking
I can't help it. I'm just going to do it. Anyway, and by the way, speaking of, we do have a whole Flounder and Pete have come up with a new top 10 best albums of all time from Rolling Stone magazine.
I'm very skeptical.
And we're going to have a little bit of a discussion on some of these. Now, and are we able to play some of these or most of these? Or
yes, I got all of them.
Excuse me. Okay. So,
right?
Yeah, no, I'm not all right now. Haven't been for 30 years, apparently. Oh, sorry. Anyway, so we'll do some of those. Topics. Oh, how about a quick birthday? And didn't we just talk about, okay, let me start. Amy Fisher birthday. She's 49 today, the Long Island Lolita. You'll recall she briefly was a porn star and then did celebrity rehab and then kind of disappeared. I think she's married and got kids now. I'm not sure whether she's still married, but Amy Fisher was the teenage girl on Long Island who started having an affair with a guy who ran a body shop and a car shop, auto shop, named Joey Buttafuoco. Boy, did I make a mistake on that one first time on the radio when I heard that name back in the 90s.
What a what?
Hey. Hold on a damn minute there, Mr. Peterson. Hey, it says it right here in black and white. Anyway, and so Amy Fisher's 49. They just did, I saw something on like A&E or something on the update on whatever happened with that.
Long Island Lolita.
Amy Fisher showed up at the house of her lover, and the wife went to the door and shot her in the face. And I saw her interviewed. It was on. You know what? It was one of those. I know what it was. It was one of those. I'm Keith Morrison. Did the little boy kill his mother or simply watch it done? We'll be right back. Coming up. Anyway, and I think it was one of those NBC things that are a couple years old, and they play them on Friday nights and Saturday nights and stuff. And they're like from 2019 or something.
Losers who have no life are sitting at home watching. All right,
fine. I go to the stable a couple of times 3 times on the weekends to help the horse videos, and that's it for me. So I can't. Anyway, sorry. Oh, God. I got nothing. I'm sorry.
I got nothing.
I can offer nothing. Chicks like guys with skills. Nunchuck skills. Wolverine hunting skills. What kind of a gun do you? 12 gauge. What do you think? Anyway, how's your weekend, boy? We got okay. Hold on, we got some great stories.
Yes,
oh, and if you haven't seen this video of the guy doing donuts at Northside Drive and 17th Street over the weekend, holy smoke! We'll talk about that. Also, the disruptive TikTok. Here we go, TikTok challenge, and disrupting and becoming dangerous. I mean, people get hurt.
Well, they did they got run over.
Yeah, well, anyway. Also, the school board business on reading a book, and also some of the funny headlines about whether it's an issue with gender on reading a book and got her in trouble. The fight over the private plane for a woman who wanted to kill her husband. He said, no, you can't use a plane. Also, a lot of stuff on the Hunter Biden update and the energy firms doing things. The fix is in deeper than we ever thought with this David Weiss guy who used to work with the dead Beau Biden. The dead son was a prosecutor along with David Weiss together in Delaware. Weiss. You don't think Weiss is in cahoots with the Biden family for 30 or 40 years?
Yeah.
God.
All 14 people live in Delaware are behind
it. It's just unfreaking believable. Oh, we'll talk about that. Also, Britney Spears has got a whole thing coming on. She's whacked. I think something bad's happening.
I have my platform, too.
All right. Now, we're going to talk about the debate. News on Donald Trump will not be in at least this debate and may not be in any of them.
He's not doing any of them.
I can't imagine he keeps saying, well, everybody knows where I stand, and I'm leading by 40 points. Why should I have somebody just pick at me for an hour?
I don't blame him.
Vivek.
All right, okay. Just say it one time and let's keep
Vivek.
Okay, that's how we'll pronounce it from now on.
Well, Vivek. I heard him say it. V as in victory, and
every single
Vivek
time.
as in cake. Vivek.
We stop. The show comes to a grinding halt, and you and Flounder discuss how to pronounce it.
Vivek.
I have not said it once.
Right. And I shall never say it again.
Good. Well, he came out with his 10 things.
He has his 10 commandments of running for office.
And I've come out with mine.
All right, sir.
You want to hear mine?
Well, let's hear them now.
You want to hear them right now?
I do want to hear them right now.
All right, number 1.
Yeah.
Probably the most important one.
Well, you should start with 10.
Well, the problem is I don't have a 10th one yet, so I was going to leave that up for the people here on YouTube to come up with a 10th one for me to run on.
Well, now, would that be the most important one?
No, the most important one would be number 1.
All right. Well, then...
Well, should I start number 9?
Start with 9, yeah, because we want to have the,
Whose list is... Oh, we're out of time.
No, just start. You've got plenty of time. Well, Flounder, we got an extra minute. We don't have to... We're not feeding a hard network, right? We can do whatever we want. What are they going to say? What are they going to come in here? Sorry.
All right. I'm starting number 1.
Number 1.
Never
mind the drum roll. There's no suspense now.
Yeah, knock off the drum roll.
Knock off the drum roll. What the hell's the point?
Well, I put these in a...
And here's the final answer, ladies and gentlemen. My God.
I want a $10 bounty on poisonous snakeheads. In other words, I will eradicate all poisonous snakes within 1 year of being in office.
I thought poisonous snakes helped this green
There's
economy.
nothing a poisonous snake can do that a non-poisonous snake can do right next to it.
In fact, black racers, those skinny black long snakes, eat poisonous snakes.
They all eat the same thing. Rats, rodents, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't give me anything that we need. We do not need poisonous snakes.
I will vote yes on that.
All right, then. Make artificial intelligence take control of every red light in this country. How many times you pull up to a red light and you sit there and there's no traffic coming and you sit there wasting gas?
Yeah.
If AI's in charge, that ain't going to happen.
Well, there are a lot of intersections, or there used to be, that have trip lights. And if you don't run over the thing, you
just sit there.
Then, I mean, if nobody runs over the thing, then the other places get the lights the whole time. And it doesn't change from green to red until somebody runs over the trip light at the intersection. Why don't they do that with every freaking one?
I know. All right. Forget forgiving college loans. Forgive the cost of all cancer treatment.
I like it.
All right. Number 4, free school lunches. No kid goes hungry.
Is that retroactive or the cancer treatment? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Go do it again.
Well, you got to fill out this form in triplicate.
No, that's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, I don't have that form, and that doesn't.
Well, then you're SOL, my friend.
Which, how unusual.
Number 5, the absolute destruction of all teachers' unions.
All right, now the one before that I was talking about.
Free school lunches.
Free school lunches.
No kid goes hungry.
I agree with that also.
All right, and a Swiss roll in every bag. Number 6, school choice for everyone.
Well, I'd love to see you pull that off.
That's what she said. So, number 7, reintroduction of civics.
Keep trying. I'll catch up.
The reintroduction of civics, history, and geography in schools in place of CRT and pride flags.
I like it.
Number 8, reduction of the power and scope of human resource departments in all businesses. Just put it down there. Do I sign up with my 401k or not?
Yeah.
Other than that, we don't need you.
Yeah.
Number 9, a vetting process for leftist Yankees attempting to move to other parts of the country because they screwed up their cities. You got to fill out this form, and then we get to decide whether you come or not.
I got a feeling there's going to be some kind of a constitutional
might be a little pushback on that one, but I agree.
When I'm in charge, heads will roll.
Well, there you
Day
are.
one.
And by the way, I'm glad you said that. That was your last one.
Yeah, I need one more. Maybe the Keystone Pipeline. All pipelines reopened.
In fact, I was hearing at 3:15. Just very quickly, I was hearing the guys right before make the point. There are like 5 states which mean everything to the election. Georgia's one of them.
Wisconsin, Michigan,
Pennsylvania, South Carolina.
It's always that way.
Arizona. But again, Georgia. Now, it used to be Georgia was a Democratic state. Sam Nunn, the Talmadges. Come on, You're killing me. All of a sudden now, because of all you people coming down here and bringing your crap with you, now Georgia's one of the most important states, and we're going the wrong way.
Well, we were Democrat. Then
now we got 2 Democrat senators who were the wrong kind of Democrats.
And then we came back to being Democrat.
Yeah. Anyway, 3:15, time for the 3:13. Oh, break. Sorry. That was very close. How's it going? Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder. And this is the Foo Fighters. And it was on this day in 2015 after the Westboro Baptist Church, famous for their anti-gay demonstrations, after they had staged a protest before a Foo Fighters concert in Kansas City. The band responded by driving a truck in front of the demonstrators and rickrolling them by blasting a version of Rick Astley's hit "Never Gonna Give You Up," which is pretty funny. And by the way, that the Westboro Baptist Church idiots used to show up at funerals for soldiers and complain about gay soldiers and that kind of stuff. And that's when I joined the Patriot Guard motorcycle group. And we would wear long-sleeve white shirts on most of them are Harleys, but it didn't matter at that point. But I was riding Harley at the time, back when I had one. With the Patriot Guard. And I'll tell you what, going and, getting a swarm of motorcycles guarding against protesters at a freaking military funeral where they're doing taps and the salute and the flag and everything. I'll tell you what, I was crying for a long time on those afternoons. I think it was a very powerful moment.
You guys running over those Westboro people too was always
absolutely.
funny.
I have no problem with that. Absolutely not. If you're asking for it, you're going to get it.
Here we
come. You
can
kiss my ass, especially on the military. Can you imagine what the families, putting a flag over the coffin, and these guys say he's gay, he hates the gay, he's gay, and all that kind of crap. How about shove this flag down your throat and see if you can sing your song, you little dweeby little bastard.
The epitome of F around and find out.
Yeah, exactly. You're asking for it. What the hell are you dealing with? It's like the guy who spit on me on Veterans Day. What do you think was going to happen to him?
I knew it.
Well, no, I'm sorry. It's
Circle back.
I mean, there are some things you're just, you don't do that to a Marine on Veterans
Superman's
Day.
cape?
Well, no kidding.
You don't spit in the wind?
He ended up in the hospital. Poor baby.
All right, anyway.
I'm sorry.
Moving on.
Right, there we go. Birthday list. I find out.
By the way, we're sparing the poisonous turtles. We're not going to kill the poisonous turtles.
There aren't that many. Every time I'd go in for a dip in the lake at Allatoona or Lanier when we had the boat, I'm afraid of the poisonous turtles. Mm-hmm. You can see the little heads bobbing up coming toward you. I get right back in the freaking boat, man. I don't like lake. I just don't. There's too many things in a lake you can't see.
Lake monsters.
I know they're down there. They're down there. Hold on, 322. Oh, here's our phone number. I do some YouTube stuff here. And by the way, we have issues, but I'm up to here with all the stuff that everybody's doing. So first, let me give you the phone number in case you'd like to call us. We love our phone calls, and we'll be talking about things like whether Donald Trump should be in the debate and what do you think. But we're going to go late that night on the show Wednesday. By the way,
that's right. We're going to 7.
Stay an extra hour.
We go all the way to 7.
That's right. Well, because you turned up to 11, 11 is like higher and everything, Yes. Here's our phone number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. This is the voice that Kimmer uses for some of the older ladies in the... Oh, sorry. No.
Focus.
Well, I got to get something on the side, bring in the extra jing, just to...
What? Was that English? Are you a hip-hop artist now?
Just keeping it crunk. I never got to my birthday list.
Well, because you can't decide whether to do this or the birthday list. You keep going back and forth. Pick one.
Well, now I'll do a birthday list. That naughty little Hayden Panettiere.
Oh, don't get me started on Hayden Panettiere. Oh, wow.
You naughty little... Yeah, she's 34.
34?
30 freaking 4.
She's about perfect.
She was an indestructible cheerleader on Heroes. Yeah. Kirby in Scream 4, Juliet on Nashville, and aside from those stubby little feet, she's a dish. And she married that big giant wrestler.
One of the biggest men in the world.
He's like 68 and 300 pounds.
Klitschko.
Yeah, the big Russian boxer guy. God. He has a brother. Aren't there 2 of them?
Yeah, there's 2 of them. They're divorced now, but...
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
So she's available then?
Oh, yeah. From what I heard. Yeah.
Well, I take back what I said about those stubby little feet.
Pretty face.
So there's
very
a chance.
pretty face.
Oh, she's adorable. She's just
adorable.
if you can't look at her and think perky and
the all-American girl.
My God, the girl next door cheerleader.
She
Yeah,
was.
just gorgeous.
Still is.
I'm happy for her.
We have a few for my number 10.
Yes.
Someone are upset because I'm getting rid of the poisonous snake, says we need the venom for medicine. Fine, let the scientists and doctors play with it in the lab. But we don't need to step on one in the middle of the night when you're walking to your car. I'm sorry.
Yeah. How many people are there? Is there like a group that captures poisonous snakes just to get the venom out of them?
Yes.
We can't replace that. We can't make it chemical. Anyway.
No, they get it from the rattlesnake roundup out in Texas and South Georgia.
All right. Well,
that's
have
a huge one.
All right. So have that instead of cutting
your head. At? There's a phone call?
What's the matter? What happened?
Well,
we had the wrong screen.
Mute. Swatoom.
Oh, Swatoom.
Is this Swatoom?
Hey, Swatoom. You're happy Monday, Swatoom. You're on the radio. Thanks for calling, sir. What's going on?
Hey, come here. Ever consider calling the sneaker company? Because every time you get angry, I think about a sneaker commercial. Here you go, eat a sneaker, and then person.
You're not yourself. You don't eat your sneaker.
One of my favorites was the Betty White one.
Hey, also, the positive things about poisonous snakes.
Yes.
It's get rid of the stupid people because some of them try to touch it.
Well,
they don't discriminate between smart and stupid. They bite whatever comes near them.
Only the secretive ones. If you're asking for it, then you get what you deserve. But if they step on one in the nighttime, it's not a good sign. Anyway, thank you, Swatoom.
All right, we had Bob.
Snickers commercials.
Bob,
hey, Bob, you're on the radio. Bob, how's it going?
Bob.
Okay,
Hi, Bob.
Kimmer, how you doing?
Yes, sir. What's up?
I love your show, man.
Thank you.
I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Yeah.
If you have a chance, I just ordered a book named Kabul.
Yeah.
It's the untold story about Biden's fiasco. I think as a Marine, you would love this book. It's unbelievable how these two authors have laid out the fiasco that Biden. And just to touch base quick, there was a situation where they were sending in Marines to help the ambassador and what happened was that because the Marines were not COVID injected, they left a lot of the Marines, the seasoned Marines, back in the States because they wouldn't allow them to go into the compound.
You know, I did. You see, here's the thing. My blood, I'm just going to go right on my freaking eyes. You know, blood be shooting right on my eyes, stuff like this. I mean, it's such a scandal, such a horrible, disgraceful way to, that's not, the only way you have a Marine Corps is to kill people and break things. That's it. We aren't school crossing guards. We don't make lunches and fill sandbags unless we really have to, but to kill people and break things. Period. That's why you had Marines go in first. I didn't get my shot. I guess I better put this guy back on shore. What a crock. What's the matter with this country? God. Anyway, Bob, thank you, Bob. I mean, again, see there. I mean, it's unbelievable. How can you support the American military today? I do. Obviously,
don't join.
But I can't. Wait till something's got to happen. We got to get rid of those people, all of them.
The only way you're going to change the military and change what's going on is starve it. Starve these companies with don't spend your money and don't join the military right now because they mistreat you.
It's pronouns and pedicures, for God's sakes. Can you imagine?
And then they don't support you when you get out or you retire.
Well, tell me about it.
They don't care about the military, so force them to.
I'm debating whether to go through it all over again.
We'd stop the never-ending war. We stop the never-ending war if they don't have cannon fodder to send to Ukraine.
Yeah.
If they don't have the cannon fodder to send to Iraq and Afghanistan, well, then we won't go.
And in fact, I think the latest statistic, you made a point of this last week, Pete, was that the people in Hawaii are, thanks to the generosity of President White Trash, are getting $700 to help them for the Maui disaster, as opposed to the $200 billion, which is going over to Ukraine, including our new F-16s, the latest shipment, F-16s, which I assume that Russia will assume is an offensive weapon, and therefore we are welcome to World War III.
These idiots. It's the guns of August all over again. These idiots are trying to get us into World War III.
Well,
never-ending war.
I don't know who's. Well, I guess we know who's in charge, and it sure ain't him. the so-called
Obama's in
commander-in-chief.
charge.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's
Susan
the
Rice
third term.
Yeah.
Valerie Jarrett and Susan Rice and all that ilk.
Yeah. And by the way, isn't one of the judges involved in the Trump case, isn't her daughter working for Valerie Jarrett or something? I mean, the link is...
One was a former donor to the Democrat Party.
Yeah, it's just scandalous. Anyway, hold on. We got the driver and wait to hear about the state trooper. If you didn't see the video, you got to look at this guy. What a freaking hero. I love this. That's why you want to be a cop, because you get to do stuff like he did with a donut idiot. Coming up next, first 3:30. Look out. We'll be right. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. We're here. Hold on. Yeah. My balls dropped.
Yeah, you did.
I don't even know what that means. All right, 3:34. How's it going? All right, shut up. I got freaking music. And on the run. I remember when I first heard this song in 75 or whatever it was. I didn't know what he was singing. Band. I didn't know it was band on the run for some reason.
What you think it was?
I don't know. I don't know what it was.
It's plain as day. Band on the Run.
I'm very sorry. I wasn't good. I was just not good. 2014 on this day, Sir Paul McCartney topped the list of the richest bassists in the world with an estimated wealth of $1.2 billion. Wow.
He was only a bassist because the other two refused to play it.
Yeah.
The others
Really?
said, John and George, I'm not going to do it.
Oh,
You
that's
do it.
one I'd want to play. I love the bass. I love bass
It was
stuff.
after Stuart Sutcliffe left the band.
But McCartney was the best musician of all of them. He could play all the drums too.
Well, if
so
you're the
he should have
best-
been playing the guitars.
Yeah, well, if you're the best musician, you don't want to play bass because that's a boom, 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 boom. You know, if
Paul
you're a
McCartney actually-
guitar player, you're the lead guitarist.
He was one of the great bassists for putting bass line in a song.
Yeah.
A Day in the Life, Baby You're a Rich Man. Oh my God, it's perfect.
On the White Album, when Ringo quit for a minute, Paul McCartney's the one who played Dear Prudence on that.
Oh, really?
Played drums.
I'll be damned.
A lot of stuff, yeah.
Anyway, he was one of the richest. He is top. He topped the list. Number 2 was Sting and Gene Simmons with a net worth of $300 million. These are the richest bass players. Pink Floyd after that, Roger Waters. U2's Adam Clayton, and then Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers were the richest bass players. I don't know why they specified. We'd like to find out who's the richest bass player in the world. Well, okay.
If you're thinking best, a lot of people thought John Entwistle of The Who was the best.
Well, you've certainly got me, you guys. You are definitely the music fellows around here. Let's see. A birthday
Are
list.
you saying we're musical fellas?
You're
Is that
musical
what you're saying?
fellows. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I like the way that's
written music all
going.
over you, on your face.
You know what Rock Hudson used to be their code.
What?
That they would say that
You're
if
musical?
someone's gay, say, yeah, he's musical. That's how they knew.
Oh, I thought it was like he's very tidy or something.
No.
He's very fastidious. Oh, really?
Like Tony Randall, the Odd Couple.
Yeah, who's been knocking up his wife at 84 years old or something. Jeez.
Well, that's what she told him.
Well, yeah, it's your kid, yeah. He's black, but that was a recessive gene, you know. He's a little Spanish in him, you know.
A black Irish, you know.
Yeah, a little Spanish in my family background, you know. Nothing personal.
There's Chris Squire. Yes, he's a good bass player. You're right.
There you go. Now, didn't somebody make some comments on our YouTube thing, or is it already gone?
Well, basically, they're talking about the venom, that we need venom. I was okay, fine. We'll let the scientists play with the poison snakes, but we don't need them in nature. We don't need them in nature.
Oh, boy. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. All right.
You know what? You ever been to Springfield, Missouri?
I may have driven through it. I've never been in it that I didn't remember.
The city seal of Springfield, Missouri has a snake on it.
Wow.
And most people don't know why.
Why?
But in 1953, I believe, some idiot had an exotic pet store in Springfield, Missouri, of all places. Okay, so he hired this local kid to catch black snakes for him for an exotic fish. So the kid brings 11 black snakes in.
Yeah.
And the guy gives him an exotic fish. The kid takes it home and it dies.
Oh, boy.
So the kid goes back and says, "Can you give me another fish?" And the guy goes, "No, I'm not going to give you another fish." So the kid waits till the guy's not looking. He goes in the back and he sees the box of black snakes. So he opens it up and spills it out and leaves.
Oh, boy.
It wasn't the black snakes.
Uh-oh.
They were cobras.
Oh, God.
The entire summer, people hid in their homes. They killed 11 cobras in Springfield, Missouri.
Wow.
And then, until the first frost came, and they figured they'd all die in the winter.
Holy cow. I got you back.
You
I
imagine
guess.
walking around.
Well, that's why the fish died. A cobra ate the fish. You wouldn't have advice for it. You know, when well, no, I didn't want to talk about it because it would involve my final thing. But there was a time in my life when there was a snake allowed in my house, and I used to go buy the live goldfish so the snake could eat them live
disgusting.
right there and everything.
All pythons are killed too. Pythons are not indigenous to America. Kill them all.
Yeah, that's
all the stuff about capturing in the Everglades.
Oh, please!
No, you're going to kill them.
And about every week, we're just every week there's a python that's 30 feet long and weighs as big around as my waist. I mean, it's just enormous. It's just unbelievable that what they're doing to the Everglades. Whatever. Okay, we haven't. Okay, we got stories. I swear to God, we got stories. 3:30.
Good time.
With the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and we're doing so. Okay, two things. If you haven't seen the video, what do they look for? A donut video or state cop arrest guy video, or I guess you Google
Just Atlanta Drag Racing or
Donut Intersection.
It's on there.
Yeah,
I'll post it on our page, and if they just go to the Twitter.
In fact, they stop it a little too early. There's even more afterwards, which I'll explain here in a second if you don't know what I'm talking about. And then we'll talk about this TikTok business at high school football games, which is not a good thing to start doing in Georgia. I remember my first Friday night high school football game. Remember to tell you about it. First of all, in Atlanta, this happened over the weekend. This was at Northside Drive and 17th Street in Atlanta. You see a guy in a black pickup truck, and he's doing donuts. And then I guess he realizes that a state trooper's after him, so he takes off. He actually runs over people. Mm-hmm. He's doing donuts. Cops coming. He runs over people. He seemed to just knocking him, running over him, and banging him out of the way. And then the guys, the troopers seen using a pit maneuver, which is where they hit one corner of your bumper and spin your car around, making you go out of control. And so the guy crashes. The state trooper plows his front of his car right into the driver's door. I mean, you T-bones him. Bam! T-bones him. It crashes that whole thing. Oh, no, he T-bones that, but right there in the driver's side door. And then the state trooper, God bless him, I love him. He's like freaking Superman. He jumps out of his car, leaps over the hood of the state trooper car, because, of course, it's crashed into the side of the bad guy's truck. And so the state trooper leaps over the hood of his car, grabs his gun, drags the guy out of his window. I mean, that's what you don't see on the video. You see the state trooper putting his gun in the guy's mouth, basically. And what you don't see, apparently, is the state trooper dragging him right out of the freaking window by his hair and said, move it. Oh my God, what great video. Now, I don't know what happened to all the people out there. I assume they're probably in pretty bad. I don't know.
He ran over him.
You ran over him. There's nothing in the story about what happened to him. He's in custody. It was a felony stop. The guy's in custody. Street racing, a very common thing. But again, if you haven't seen the video, and you go, yeah. I mean, my heart's pounding right now. I mean, you know why? Because we're sick and tired. We're sick and tired of the bad guys doing whatever the hell they want and getting away with it. Yep. And if this guy goes to court and they suddenly let him free with no recognizance bond or anything, it'll be typical. In Atlanta, Georgia, please.
She's too busy going after Trump.
Yeah, our gang ball disgraced attorney, instead of going after Donald Trump, ought to be getting scumbags like this. Yeah. Running over people in Northside Drive, for crying out loud. Oh, man.
Wild.
Anyway, no, you got to see that video. And again, we're sick and tired. Fight back. That cop ought to get a freaking reward for showing people this is what you do when you mess with us in Georgia.
You might notice that Cameron kind of, I don't know, pushed the boundaries of reality when he talked about some of the things that happened in that video.
No, you can see the video.
He didn't do the maneuver on. He didn't do a pit maneuver.
He did too.
He didn't T-bone him.
Oh, my God, he did both those things. Put the video on right now, and you can see it. He hit his bumper and spun him into the wall.
Starsky and Hutch over the front hood,
and he jumped over the hood because he T-boned his door. He couldn't open the door. That's why he dragged him out of the window.
I don't think you understand what a T-bone.
Well, I like my version better than yours.
It was more exciting. I was enraptured.
Well, there you are.
Listening to it.
See,
unfortunately, I'd seen the video.
That's beside the point. We're talking to people who maybe haven't had the opportunity or don't have their own computer to look for the Googling of the video.
Painting the picture.
Now, other stories we got Trump stories, and we got David Weiss, prosecutor, Hunter Fixit. I mean, this is making me so. The more we learn about the Hunter Biden and the Joe Biden, and now the brothers involved. I'll mention James' name too with the Chinese fur. I mean, it's astounding. First of all, this is probably getting out of hand, and I'll bet we don't know the half of it that's happening all over the country. High school game in Georgia. At Herschel V. Jenkins High School in Savannah. It was a game between Benedict Military School and Herschel Jenkins in Savannah. And apparently now there are TikTok challenges going around that your children know about, and you may not. In fact, you probably don't. I assume you probably don't. And it happened on Friday night in Georgia, in Savannah, at that game at the Chatham County Public Schools. The game had to be canceled after about the third quarter. I was going to say third inning, my God, man. Help me. I need a woman. No, sorry.
Keep going. keep going.
I'm sorry. We can edit that out later.
I feel sorry for you now, so I'm not even going to give you any crap over that.
My back. A Friday night football game, and all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of things going on in the crowd. And the reason things are going on in the crowd is like they pretend something bad happened and they race for the exits, or they say, oh my God, oh no, look out, and they go, and they do things, and people are saying, holy crap, what happened there? And they follow the leader, and somebody can get trampled and hurt, and they'll leave the game. I mean, messes up your afternoon. You're trying to watch a football game, that not Friday night football. My God.
What if you brought your grandparents there? Yeah, and they can't get up and run.
Everybody brings their children.
And they're running over
you got
people.
Like a 5-year-old kid. It's exciting to see his high school football. His brother playing, quarterback or something. He gets run over by somebody because they think there's a fire or gunfire or something. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's unbelievable. So they had to cancel the freaking game. The score was 42-0, by the way. So thank God. But still,
who was winning?
Well, the other guys, the visitors.
Benedictine.
Benedictine, 42-0 third quarter. But anyway, so they called them the winner, but they canceled the game because of the crowd was acting up, doing things as a TikTok challenge. Now, a year ago, in the same stands at halftime, they had to cancel the game because fans started going out in the middle of the game as police officers had to investigate what's going on, like there was some kind of a riot or a shooting or something. And again, that was a TikTok challenge. It's what they say, hey, see how disruptive you can be. Now, okay. I'm trying to remember back. Back in the 23 Skidoo days, they would try to, eat as many goldfish as you could, or how many people you could fit in a phone booth,
Volkswagen.
or stuff like that. How many clowns in a car, But at my age, I don't remember doing. I'm trying to remember what we did.
You didn't do things that could harm other people.
Well,
it could harm you.
Yeah, but we didn't do things like, we didn't have any challenges that I remember. Did you have a challenge?
Yeah,
you
did stupid things
90s,
like put chairs on
80s?
top of the high school. You know how you nip this in the bud?
Yeah, but it wasn't people, affecting people racing for the exits.
You know how you nip it in the bud?
Yeah.
Everybody knows who did it.
Yeah.
So basically, they can never come back to a high school football game, ever.
Yeah.
You're not allowed back in.
Yeah. Anyway, 346. We got a million things. Also, the David Weiss thing. We're not even done with this either. Kimmer, Pete, Flounder. Here we go. Look out. He called an audible. Good work. It worked. Perfect. There we go. Little Ramones here for a second. The smell of death is on the what?
Is all around.
All around. Well, that's fairly bad. I don't want to be dead in a cemetery?
No, I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery.
What the hell kind of song is that?
Stephen King's Pet Cemetery.
The cemetery. The book? Was this part of a movie or something?
That book is scary.
Yeah.
Well, see, I can't read that stuff. I can't. I would never go to sleep again.
Yeah, you would.
I would just start shooting things at night in the dark.
You would not go to sleep.
What was that? Blam! Sorry. I almost did it the other night. That's why I woke up and I was locked and loaded, baby.
I could have sworn someone walked up on my porch about 3 a.m. and stood at the door. And I got up and got my pistol and turned the light on. There's nobody there.
Yeah.
But I swore I heard footsteps.
There you go. Anyway, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, Johnny Ramone on this day in 1983. Ramone's guitar player Johnny had a 4-hour brain surgery operation in 1983. He was found unconscious in a New York street where he had been involved in a fight.
Jeez.
And is he still with it?
I think they're all dead.
Now. Didn't the last one just die recently?
Within the last 10 years.
They're all gone.
Ramone's 1983 operation. Let's see what else we got. A couple of birthday of note here. Alicia Witt, you know who that is? The actress. She's
red hair, yeah.
48. Now, here's what's amazing. She says, let me see if I can get this straight with a thing there. She said to me when I saw the name Alicia Witt, I thought one thing, which is not on this list. This is Flounder's History Guy. Alicia Witt, 48. Zelda on the 7th and final season of Orange is the New Black. You might also remember her as Autumn Chase on Nashville. I remember her from The Sopranos.
So a brief little role.
Yeah. But it was a significant role back in Hollywood, and it set the stage for Christopher and the agency and the writing and the stuff, and what's having an affair, and
Justified. She was also in Justified.
There's nothing. They didn't mention that either, which is fine. But anyway,
I always found her just hot as a firecracker.
She redhead. She
had something about her.
They had that whole orange thing going there. It's kind of a various areas.
Orange.
Certainly redheads have that sort of orange thing in various.
A little fire in it?
Well, no, it's not fire.
My first was a redhead.
It's definitely orange. Yeah. I'm talking about a special orange.
Still remember.
You know who Brody Jenner is? Flounder, who's Brody Jenner? He's a your age guy. He's 40 years old. Is he one of the Jenner Kardashian guys? He's an actor,
yes,
isn't he?
I believe he is.
I know the name.
I think he's been on a couple reality shows, and he's
never heard of him.
I know the name is Brody Jenner's 40, and no reason I don't know who he is, but other than I assume it's a Jenner Kardashian guy.
He's related to them somehow. I know that. Anyway,
and I think he's one of those reality guys.
John Brody,
a famous football player who was also a pro golfer.
And he was
a PGA pro golfer.
He was the Falcons quarterback. Who was the quarterback who took us to the Super Bowl? Chris
Chandler.
Chandler. That was his.
Look at
Oh my God! Good night, everybody.
Take off.
That was me.
Phil for the next 2 hours.
Chandler, very good. He was his. John Brody was his father-in-law.
That's right. That's absolutely correct.
Well, thank you.
Well, you're very kind.
I knew that.
Thank you.
Correct.
On this day, 1911. Oh, we got a feedback thing here in a second.
Yes, we do.
1911. On this day, a thief stole the Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci's famous portrait done between 1503 and 1506 from the Louvre in Paris. An employee named Vincenzo Perugino. Be very careful, my friend. Believe the mediocre paint-by-numbers job rightfully belonged back in Italy, and when he tried to sell it to an art dealer, they caught him. So that was kind of a bad thing.
Huh. Some people say none of those are the real. That the real ones are all in vaults.
Yeah, they're all. Yeah, somebody's bought it.
Especially now with these environmental idiots trying to throw stuff on.
Oh God, I don't blame them. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame people.
I'm telling you, if I'm standing there and I saw one of them do that, I'd probably break their neck right there.
Well, they're priceless. You can't.
I know.
That's world.
That's the height of Western civilization, and these little jerks are. I went stop using oil. It's like, how about stop breathing? I'm going to retire you from breathing.
You got oil in your skin tissue there. Let me take that off there for you.
We were talking about the high school thing and the riot and all that stuff.
TikTok challenges where kids at high school football games in the stands will go nuts pretending something bad's happening. Everybody starts racing out of the stadiums and stuff.
LJ says he had one word, stampede. Which reminded me,
yes,
over the weekend I failed to go to drive over to Blue Ridge and see the rodeo. I just screwed around and took forever. I did find a dive bar. That's pretty nice. So I have to keep going back there. But anyway, so I forgot to go to the rodeo. But coming up,
I don't think "forgot's" the proper verb there. If
well, the
you
first
found
time,
a dive bar and suddenly didn't go to the rodeo, I got a feeling it's not because you forgot.
They had 2 local bands, and it was
9
nice.
for 1 drink night.
I don't drink, so I couldn't really do anything. I got a hamburger, whatever. Anyway. But anyway, in a couple weeks, Ella J is going to have not only a rodeo, but a stampede in a rodeo.
Oh, those are
and
supposed
I'm thinking,
to be...
why don't we... They're going to open up the streets and run the bulls down the streets of LJ.
Can we do a bull run?
Why not?
No. I mean, do they allow pedestrians to go and run with the steers?
Isn't that what a stampede is?
No, I think a stampede in America, I think is you get the hell out of the way while you can watch the cows go running through the street. I don't think they let you run with the cows.
Well, what's the fun of that?
Well, I don't know. Now, I don't know. Let's call LJ right now. Anybody in LJ?
Get LJ on the phone.
I don't think that's how we do it. If anybody knows about this, let us know. And now, a stampede, I think, is really just
what's the difference?
Well, I think it's like a rodeo event where it's a parade where they say, "Here come the cows," and you get to watch the steers.
That's not a stampede.
Well, that's what they call it because they're racing.
Cherry bomb out there, you got your stampede.
Well, then ladies and gentlemen, the previous comment was a joking gesture of satire from Mr. Linguist here, the cunning loquationist.
I'm just saying, I don't know the difference between a stampede.
Well, I think that's what it means. I think
and a rodeo.
Rodeo is events where bull riding and horse riding and calf roping and stuff like that. A stampede, I think, is just a parade where they let you watch them race the cows through the town.
Idea.
I'm telling you, that's what I think, and that's what I believe. Anyway, so that's next 2 weeks, what'd you say?
Somewhere in September they're doing it. So I'd say...
By the way, is this the 21st of August?
College football starts this weekend.
No, it's a lie. He lied, ladies and gentlemen. There's no possible way this weekend. Yeah. Holy moly.
And we're going to be talking, coming up in sports, who has the hardest schedule in the country. Who has the and what Georgia's strength of schedule is this year. It's amazing. You're not going to believe who has the hardest.
Well, I can't wait. A little after 5, we'll
That's
have
right.
a Holy Crap at Sports. One more thing on the TikTok thing. Stampede. Let me remind you.
LJ says it's an unruly, chaotic herd of cows.
Well, see, but again, then let's go play with it. If we can go and play with them now, I'll take a chance. Might kill me. What a great way to go. God, what a great way to go.
Yeah, be stampeded by bulls.
Yeah, we always wanted to be trampled and gored by a 1,200-pound steer in his testicles.
Clayton has just had his Glenn Campbell playing in the Beach Boys moment, where out of the blue you come up with some fact. Clayton says Ella J is near the beginning of the Appalachian Trail at Amicalola Falls.
That's not what we're talking about. By the way, I haven't been to Amicalola Falls in probably 30 years.
It is nice up there.
40 years, I'll bet you.
It's nice up there.
Yeah, it's beautiful territory. I used to drive my Harley up there. Anyway, more on the football game.
Well, wait a minute. Eddie is a big help here. A stampede is just a rodeo with a lot of extra attractions.
Oh, for God's sakes, people.
That's not any
We're
help
talking
at
about
all.
the city event of the Stampede of LJ. It can't be just they let the cows go run wild.
Stampede expert Sophia is weighed in.
Oh, here we go.
Stampede is not a parade. None of this is helpful.
Well, I'm going to stick with my own stinking answer then. You people suck.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, from the YouTube gangsters.
We have
That's
58
ridiculous.
people here who don't know their blood from a hole in the ground.
God. Anyway, the Friday night football game reminded me when I first got here in 1972 with my starter wife, the one who actually did love me, and a little baby Jennifer was just born from when I was in graduate school the previous March. April. Anyway, and we got here, and so we went to our first Georgia Friday night football game, high school football game.
Yes, sir.
And we're kind of standing around before we go, and I think I'm wearing a pair of cutoff jean shorts or something. And Tony Walker, my next door neighbor, said, "No, we dress for high school football games here. That's not going to. No, you're not going to be able to. No,
It's a high school football game.
I figured if the guys was out working in the yard. You go to the game. I don't know. What did I know? He said, no, that's, no, you really know.
Yankee shows up in shorts.
You fixed me real good there, baby. 4 o'clock, look out.
Yep.
Excellent. Yeah. Oh, of course, I recognize this now. There you go. 1982 on this day. U2 singer Bono married Alison Stewart, his girlfriend from 1975 at All Saints Church in Ireland. U2 bassist Adam Clayton acted as Bono's best man, 1982. There you go. It's all right. Yeah, play a little chorus here. That's good.
It's a good song.
Yeah. In mysterious ways. That's the reason I remember the song. Is this chorus? It's all right. So I know music. I don't know. I'm smart. I'm not like stupid like they say. Well, maybe I am. If you listen to the YouTube Gangster Posse today, People have a freaking attitude, man. I don't think they like the camera.
One just came out and said, blow me.
Yeah, I said, thanks a lot. They're turning on me. They're turning on me.
There's someone actually on the phone who's part of the...
YouTube gangsters?
Yeah, Clayton.
Oh, Clayton's. Great. I think we're just talking about you. Hey, Clayton, you're on the radio. What's up, man?
Do you know where Ella J is?
What's that?
I do. Thanks for the shout out. You call me Cliffy Clavin, I guess. But it's also near Fort Mountain.
And, there you go.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
And that's a beautiful place. But the reason I called is because one of your faithful followers on YouTube, part of the Mafia, his name, you may know him as the Stubborn One, but he had a little baby boy today.
Oh, no kidding.
And it also happens to be the birthday of another listener, Tommy Two Shoes T-Bone, and he said, what a coincidence that cop T-boned that truck. So it was a shout out to him.
Oh, I'll be damned. Well, happy birthday to both of them. And congratulations on the new little boy.
It wasn't a T-bone.
Yep. Well, that's all the news I got.
Well, thank you. Well, you're very kind. I'm hearing that's great news. All news is good news. Well, he T-boned. You could see him. He plowed right into the driver's door on him. He had to jump over the hood. You got to see the video. Anybody disagree with that? Anybody doesn't like that video? I mean, I guarantee if you see that video, you're going nuts. You're going, oh, yeah.
All right, Ty Rizzo has now joined the Glenn, what's his name? Glenn...
Greenwald?
No, Glenn Campbell.
Glenn Campbell.
Played with the Beach Boys. Ty Rizzo says, U2 is Richard Simmons' favorite band.
What the hell's Richard Simmons got
to do with that?
A couple of days ago, I guess we were talking about whatever. Mercy. We haven't done any Flounders Funnies either. We'll get to it. We've got to do probably some newsies. You want to do
Marietta
the school
teacher?
Thing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now this again. This was an issue last week for several days. Marietta teacher named Katie Rinderly. In Cobb County, read a book on gender fluidity, My Shadow is Purple, to her elementary school. Some parents complained about it, and she got suspended and in trouble, and then her case went before a district board. These are the name of the place. Let's see. She went before like an investigative board, and they said, well, she didn't do anything wrong, so we think that she should be left alone. Unfortunately for her, the board then decided to take care of the issue, and they fired her. And she was a teacher for 10 years. The case drew nationwide attention of what public school teachers can teach in class and how much the system can control the teachers when it comes to whether parents can veto instruction which they dislike. I mean, this is a major issue, and again, this had been a political issue, and it's going to be a political issue again about what kind of input parents have in their schools. Her lawyer said the district sending a harmful message that not all students are worthy of affirmation of being in their unapologetic, authentic selves. Again, we're talking about changing genders. Mm-hmm.
Groomers is what they're doing.
Her lawyer says this is an act that only can be construed as politics over policy. Nonsense. It's impossible for a teacher to know what's in the minds of parents when she starts her lesson. For parents to be able to, with a political agenda, to come in from the outside and have a teacher fired is completely unfair. That's the point.
Coming from the outside.
Yeah, the outside.
You know what this boils down to? Whose kid is it?
Yeah.
Is it the teacher's kid or is it your kid?
Yeah. Yeah.
They really think they're above everything and that it's their kids, that they own those kids.
Yeah. The district is pleased the difficult issues has concluded. We're serious about keeping our classrooms focused on teaching, learning, and opportunities for success for students.
Not supposed to be talking sex.
The decision is reflective of that mission.
This is why, if you elect me, Pete Davis, teachers' unions will be abolished day one.
Well, they've always been one of the most powerful. It used to be the AFL-CIO and
baseball
the team
players.
Well, the Teamsters and AFL-CIO, the teachers' unions were big and huge, but it's only recently really that they've become so powerful. They've become a lot more politically powerful than they ever were back in the 50s and 60s. They were there,
and lazy,
but it was the Teamsters and the AFL-CIO.
Socialist.
And the automobile unions and the steel workers.
UAW,
but teachers' unions have all of a sudden now become more powerful, I guess, because of the economy, because of the nature of the industry. Yeah.
They control health policy in this country.
Yeah.
They did
Who's
so
gonna pay for
during
your...
They pressured the White House.
I remember, and all the schools had to be redone and constructed for safety filter systems and all this kind of stuff. So they determined contractor allocations and so
forth. Well, they
forth.
didn't want to go back to work in the COVID. And when the CDC says it's okay for the kids to go back, they pressured the White House, who pressured their political director, the CDC, and she changed the entire scientific panel's findings and said, oh, no, you shouldn't go back right now. Because the teachers, the lazy teachers, didn't want to go back to work. When they follow the science, unless, of course, it means we have to go back to work, and then we don't follow the science. We only follow the science we like.
You know, it's just one big scandal after another for the last 6 years. I mean, it hasn't ended. I've never been through a period like this. Have you? Can you remember a period where, I mean, every day it's been littered for 6 years.
And part of it, the media, almost every story you read on the internet was teacher fired for reading a book to her class.
Yeah.
So you think, oh my God, a book. Yeah. Oh my God, that's horrible. Yeah. And then you read, she's reading a book that literally on the cover has a little boy, and behind him is a purple shadow. The purple shadow is a girl in a skirt.
Yeah. So he may be a girl, he's not sure.
So how does that anything to do with reading, writing, or arithmetic, which all these kids are failing at, by the way?
Yeah.
Because they're teaching about, they're grooming kids about trans freaks.
Well, again, what was the statistic? All of a sudden, somebody did a study, and it said something like 48% of all American elementary and junior high school students now believe that they are tranny.
Brown University, 40%.
Wait, hold on a minute. Wait, whoa.
Brown University.
I mean, so, where the hell did that? Where do you suppose that came from? Where do you think somebody got that idea? Oh, gee, maybe I'm gay after. Oh, maybe I kind of feel like a girl sometimes, and I just see those little cute dresses, and I'm going to admit to you something. I think I've admitted many years ago. You can do my Glenn Campbell moment. I remember as a little boy up in the attic. I remember two things in specific time when I couldn't have been more than 3, 4, 5 years old. One of the events I remember is trying on my father's Navy officer, white, beautiful Navy officer's hat and his uniform, which was, of course, dragged like a tent on me. And I was so happy to put on his white, beautiful, he was an ensign in the Navy, officer at World War II, and his uniform. And the other thing I remember once is, I may be more than once, I remember one time.
Maybe you should stop here.
Is trying on my mother's high heels and walking around the attic floor in my mother's high heels. Because they were there in a box or something, and I tried them on, and I remember, I was flying all over the place, but I remember trying on her high heels and clumping around to see what it would like to walk in high heels. Now, does that mean that I thought about being gay? I mean, it's not now. Man, now I bet you some teacher saying, if I ever heard that story, well, I think this shows the tendency for if you have a high instep, it's kind of a feminine. I'm going, whoa.
Well, they're asking the kids what they put the dolls down, and if a girl happens to reach for the G.I. Joe, oh my gosh, she's trans.
Fire truck, for God's sakes. I mean, it's unbelievable. 40% of the American children now think they're gay or bi or.
What's worse is they're taking these kids who are probably going to grow up to be gay, and they're basically eradicating them being gay by turning them into trans.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Oh, my God. All right. Oh, my God. It's almost
As Bill Maher says, 5 years ago, we weren't even discussing this.
You wouldn't even want to discuss this. What are the possibilities that you could sit around the family dining table talking about whether your 12-year-old ought to be eligible for gender-changing surgery?
And why are we discussing it?
Yeah.
Teachers.
It's in school with the teachers.
Teachers.
Yeah. Because it's coming. Why is this even in school? Why is this possible to be in schools?
Why does it come up as a subject?
It's not. Reading, writing, arithmetic, baby. Geography, history, social studies.
Bring back civics.
Government, civics, social studies and civics.
Civics. That's number something number on my. Yeah, it's number 7 on my.
All right, 413. Hold on. We got Flounders Funnies. We got stuff. We got Hunter Biden. We got Dave. We got a million things, and we're getting. I promise, it's coming up. I promise. Really, probably. nomination for president all listed up there, and Pete had a great idea.
That at some point there should be a disturbance in the crowd. They turn the camera around, and Trump's walking in with a box of popcorn.
In the middle of the debate, yeah.
With a box of popcorn, just sits there and heckles them. Oh, there's 9 people at the debate.
Oh, we got 9 now.
Christie accounts for 2.
Oh, good point. And by the way, who does he think he is? I mean, seriously.
He's a tool of the media. He's the one that's always on CNN and MSNBC, and he's
got no
numbers.
Chance. He's gotten worse chance than Mike Pence does.
You're right.
Unbelievable. Anyway, is this the Leonard Skinner gang here? I'm sorry, Flounder was talking over your music there. You went, don't hear him for a second. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
This sounds like J.J. Cale influence right here.
I believe you probably know more about that than I ever will. So, 1976, Leonard Skinner, the Rolling Stones, 10cc, Todd Rundgren's Utopia, and Hot Tuna all appeared at the Knebworth Festival in Herefordshire, England. Tickets were $6. So there you go, Leonard
10cc had that one big hit.
Yeah,
I'm not in
love with you. Or whatever. The kind of the wailing sort of a. And Leonard Skinner, of course, their former drummer, was parked next to me. When Wayne No Offense and I had our boats, we shared a slip up at Lake Allatoona. And one day next to us came this little party boat, little pontoon boat next to us, with this disheveled-looking, shirtless, raggedy, bearded, very nice young guy. I mean, he was a nice man, and I didn't recognize or know him. And Wayne No Offense, I think, realized this long before I did. He was one of the drummers for Leonard Skinner. And he was really just a nice guy, a very nice guy, pleasant. Whenever we saw, he didn't, we weren't there at the times he was. We rarely saw him, but when we did, he was a very nice man. And unfortunately, he had a bad habit of throwing his garbage over the side instead of, just into the dock there.
Lake etiquette escaped him.
It was not a happy thing, so they asked him to leave. So that was a ball game. But a nice man. Anyway, let's see, quick birthday or two here. Oh, here we go. Do you know the name R.J. Mitty or Mitt? By the way, we have Facebook gangster reaction to some of my comments here. R.J. Mitty, or it's M-I-T-T-E. Could be Mitt or Mitty. I don't know. R.J. Mitty. Flounder, ever heard of him? I bet you know who it is, though.
Flounder's busy.
So were you back there doing phone stuff?
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay, here's the thing. Flounder's in a big room just like ours, all by himself. At the front of his room is the control board that controls all the stuff that's going on here. In the back of the room is the computer he has to go to check the phone.
Fascinating.
So that's why. Well, no, so you get the picture here. That's why he has to go. He's not always at the front of the thing.
Flounder doesn't even care.
Anyway, R.J. Mitty. Well, I'm just trying to help the little people. R.J. Mitty's 31.
Who is he?
Well, thank you for asking.
Sorry.
He was Walter Jr. on Breaking Bad.
Walter Jr.
And he actually has cerebral palsy.
That's true.
He was not acting. He actually has cerebral palsy. He's 31 years old, Walter Jr.
Now, I wonder if they had a discussion. Do we have an actor pretend he has it, or do we get an actor who actually has it?
Well, now let me ask you this, and I don't think I've ever heard anybody describe it, and whether it's even offensive in any way. And then I'm going to ask an offensive question about what I'm. Oh no! First, we're going to do our YouTube gangsters. But on this question, why would they even anyway have a character with that sort of a malady?
Well, it kind of drives. It's a little more pathos in the drama. Another layer, because that guy's so good at adding layers to his stories.
I didn't look at it that way. I just thought it was I always felt bad. I don't know. I don't know why would they pick an actor that had that as opposed to anything else. If they wanted a character with a disability. I was just curious. I mean, why not a blind kid or a deaf kid? I mean, why could it be? Well,
it could have been.
Why somebody said, "Oh, let's see, polio, no, paralysis, no, cerebral palsy." I mean, somebody had to decide cerebral palsy, and I'm just curious as to why. It's not a bad thing. What am I, a racist now? I'm a cerebral racist.
You're a palsyist.
I'm a palsyist. I'm a damn palsyist.
I'm appalled that you even brought it up.
You're an anti-dentite. Pretty soon they're going to want their own schools.
They have their own schools.
I don't know. Anyway, God, I'm
feedback time or?
Yeah, feedback time.
Because
our YouTube gangster.
In case you missed it, Kemmer just confessed about cross-dressing when he was a young child. And Scott says, what was the over-under on high heels in a Navy uniform? Sophia weighed in, not all memories need to be shared. And then Sophia returned with, I bet he wore the heels with the uniform.
No, wait a minute. I was a little boy. So he called me a homo?
You touched my stuff. Anyway.
Oh, mercy. All right, it's 4:24 already. Oh, my God. Oh, where were we? I don't know. All right, David Weiss. I mean, there's more and more in the. We'll do a quick. Oh, you know what? We're going to do a Pete's Tweets this half hour, and we're going to do a Flounders Funny.
All right.
How about, because I'm very lack about getting things on that we need to get on. And later on, we'll do a Skynet and the Holy Grail Sports.
Sure, we will.
Now, David Weiss, this guy who's a former U.S. attorney and special investigator, now he's a special counsel. Even CNN and their legal analyst, Ellie Honig, I guess it is saying that the Department of Justice and the so-called special counsel, David Weiss, have blown up this whole thing into just one big unholy mess of the Hunter Biden investigation. New York Times is even saying that Weiss was initially, the special prosecutor, special counsel, was willing initially to forego any charges against Hunter Biden, anything. He only changed his position after a pair of IRS whistleblowers accused the Justice Department of hamstringing the investigation, which we know. He already let go the charges for the tax evasion charges of 2014 and 2015, which were the Burisma years, and he let those go by. He slow-walked them, so they're now outside the statute of limitations. So he's going to get away with those crimes for those 2 entire years. But the analyst is even saying the takeaway is that the DOJ made a huge mess of this thing, and David Weiss is responsible for it, given his long service as a U.S. attorney. He was willing to let the whole thing go entirely. This is the CNN analyst, says, quote, political pressure ramped up. He backtracks and says, no, we're going to need to take a misdemeanor pleas. Then they go to court ready to take misdemeanor pleas. That deal was underhanded deal. More pressure, more testimony from the IRS, and then this deal falls apart. And now he says, well, now I need to be called special counsel. His action and reaction has all been basically because of the whistleblowers have caught him in lies. Now, the CNN person even says it seems like twice now he's tried to make his case go away cheaply, twice been called out on it, and twice backtracked only in response to the whistleblowers. A former senior investigative counsel for the committee of January 6 says if he would continue as special counsel right now and said they'd leave it up to the DOJ, there's no way he should have been left as special counsel. For one thing, David Weiss used to work with the dead Beau Biden, the dead Hunter Biden brother and dead Biden's son, who was a prosecutor in Delaware, along with David Weiss. He's been linked with his family for decades. Mm-hmm. And he also was the one who backed down when Hunter Biden's attorney said, oh, yeah, well, if you take us to trial, we're going to call Joe Biden. We're going to bring the president of the United States in here. And David Weiss says, yeah, no, we don't want to do that. So he backed off entirely. That's 2 strikes. 3 is when he made the secret deal where he tried to get away with immunity for everything, and the judge finally caught him. That's strike 3. That's a major strike of all time. Anyway, a person says, why in the world is he being made special counsel now, 2 weeks in 5 years after the investigation began? 5 years. At some point, Attorney General Merrick Garland and this guy are going to have to explain what they've been doing all over the map on this thing. They're not doing the Department of Justice any favors and not doing Hunter any favors. And they're not even doing the whistleblower any favors. The plea deal collapsed in Delaware last month when they said, oh, no, we have to be admitted they were still investigating. He was going to get away with 2 misdemeanor tax counts and nothing for a diversion program for the federal felony gun charge. He was going to get away with all of it until Weiss got caught. Again, he was going to get away with everything until David Weiss got caught. Thank you, whistleblowers, and thank you, judge.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Is it not the Democrats who are constantly lecturing us about how the rich get away with not paying their taxes, and the rich get away with a different set of rules
rich white
and laws.
people especially.
And then you have a rich white person getting away with breaking the law and not paying his taxes, and not a peep from the Democrats.
You know, if they were really serious philosophically, and again, I'll bet you back in the 60s and early 70s when the media was actually going after scandals, I'll bet you even then, if it was a Democrat, they would have said, "Oh, no, this is way."
Daniel Patrick Moynihan would not have put up with this.
There were too many people saying, "Oh, whoa."
Robert Kennedy wouldn't have put up with this.
I'll bet Sam Nunn wouldn't have put up with this either.
Nope.
Herman
Talmadge would have put up with it.
He had hundreds of $1,000 in his closet.
But Sam Nunn,
he had $80,000 in his raincoat one day. My wife caught him one time or something. He had like $300,000 in a shoebox in his front closet of his house or something. He had 20s everywhere. 100 here, I have 100, kid. Park my car, get my bags. Put on some weight, will you? Hey, Wang, it's a parking lot. Come on, will you? 4:30.
It's exclusive. Don't tell them you're Jewish.
Yeah, the club's restricted. 4:30. Look out. With their notes. They only use 2 out of the 7 or 9 or whatever. How many freaking notes? And I can't change my tune because I only make the 1 chord on the guitar. That's all the teacher taught me. Just was a C minus or a D major. What the hell? It's the Doors. Oh, you almost changed an octave there for a second there. Bring it back down there, will you? Freaking Doors, my God. 1967, the Doors started recording their second album at Sunset Sound Studios in Hollywood, California. But that took more than 15 minutes. All right, you 3 guys play the same note over and over, and you drone on about... Sorry. They were horrible. I mean, absolutely horrible. They're just not good music. I'm sorry. And they were ignored. Because they were all freaked. Everybody was all a freaking hippie. It's like listening to the Grateful Dead. My God. And when, people finally got older and said, geez, I had to get high to listen to that stuff anyway. All right, happy birthday to Harry Smith, former TV newsman. He may still be working for someone. He's 72. Wasn't he a local guy? Wasn't he? Or Atlanta?
I have no idea.
I think Harry Smith. I think he might have been here.
He bored me.
Well, I'm sorry?
He bored me.
Yeah, he's very boring. A nice man. Mm-hmm. One of the few bald-headed guys who was on TV long before you would have thought they would allow that. But that was because he was strictly newsy. And it was like, who was the guy? Edward Newman.
I liked Edwin Newman. He had a sense of humor.
I interviewed him on TV once. I was an anchorman. I interviewed him on TV about his book, about grammar.
Did he correct your grammar?
He did. And it was funnier than hell. No, I tell you, because, for example, and I kind of was doing it on purpose, but, for example, we were taking a break. And so I said, well, it's with our guest is Edward Newman, and hopefully we'll come right back with some more interesting material for you. And then I said, okay, now that I use hopefully correctly, hopefully we'll come back, or hopefully you get new material. See what I mean? And so we talked about that. It was just, there's,
Well, I bet that was a scintillating interview.
Well, I won a couple Emmys for that one alone. I got one of my Peabodys for that one. Anyway.
You're breaking down the use of hopefully in a sentence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was a very nice man.
When he got on Saturday Night Live, he was funny.
He was a very nice, a very bright man. But again, another baldy. Like back in the 70s when before nobody cared. Before he got real happy talk, I don't know. What do I know?
Did you get that thing I sent you on the side? I sent you a thing. It was that show, The Good Place.
Yeah, it wouldn't open.
It wouldn't open?
It wouldn't open for me.
Well, who's the big guy that would used to be Sam Malone on Cheers? What's that actor's name?
Ted Danson.
Ted Danson. He played an angel or something in there, and he did something bad.
No, that opened. I did see that.
They threw him in a room for eternity, and all they gave him was a stack of New Yorker magazines. And the fact that he goes, I'm not going to read those.
Ted Danson, the guy, he says, it's like a room of hell, and he walks in and says, well, what is all you get is a stack of New Yorker magazines. He said, I'm not going to read those. He says, I know, but they keep coming.
And just one dropped after another.
They keep coming after.
And that's the way. I have a stack at home that you give me.
I've got 2 more around a minute.
I'll never get through.
Well, they come out once a week.
I know. They never stop.
Well, and the problem is there's about 3 cartoons that are very funny, worth reading. Yeah. And there's one article. There's been maybe one article that's. But again, what the hell? It was $12 a year. So and they keep coming once a week. It's the damnedest thing.
After Civilization Ends, there's going to be Keith Richards reading the New Yorker
magazine. Yeah. They just don't stop. 438. Can we do a Flounders funny bit? We got news here, but I don't want to talk about Jake Tapper. Trump was right, and we got all this stuff, and Biden and his border wall. So, how about a Flounders funny? Can we do one here just for the fun of it?
Sure, we can. Here we go.
Flounder. Here we go.
I'm happy now because I take antidepressants. Those really do some heavy lifting, and they're great. Nobody in LA believed in. You know how people in LA they give up on medicine because they meet somebody at Whole Foods. You know what I'm talking about? Like these people that have like a shaman, and the shaman's name is Kyle or something. And I tell them I was on antidepressants, and they'd be like, "You have to get off those things. They're poison." And I'd be like, well, a doctor prescribed them, but you are a yoga instructor, so what do I do, Kyle? What's the answer? And this is what I don't like about people that like natural medicine is they always act like it's very simple, like it's very easy. They always sell it like that. They're like, It's no problem. You just want to take niacin, biotin, thiamine, B1, B2, B3, take all the B's, C's, D's, and E's, fish oil, purple reishi, 5-HTP, St. John's wort, wake up, drink a glass of water thoughtfully for 1/2 hour, boil a bowl of almond milk, put that on a windowsill. That's not for you. Climb a tree, thank a bird, get back down safely, write a gratitude list, set that on fire, blow the ashes towards your ancestors, buy these 5 crystals, they're each $1,000.
That is Andy Hayes.
Andy Hayes. Again, I don't know him. He's a very funny guy. Excellent. Here's the number. It's 440. Here's our phone number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. The YouTube gangsters apparently have...
Well, they've abandoned their dissertations on which fish is the best fish to eat.
Yeah.
And now they've moved on to what's the best vegan dog and milk.
Yeah, they're just talking among themselves.
They're talking about food now.
We're not going to distract them. We refer to them. We know they're out there, but they're just kind of having their own thing.
63 people talking about what they're eating for dinner.
Fish for the special thing.
If you two had to go to a restaurant and you had to pick your favorite fish to eat,
there's no such thing.
Now, are we talking seafood or just fish?
Seafood. No, fish.
Catfish.
Just fish?
Catfish, deboned catfish from Taylor Grocery outside of Oxford.
Fried?
Wow.
With hush puppies. Hell yeah, fried.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is going to be fried. Surprisingly, I'm remembering several years ago, since I had fished at a restaurant, was a really well done fried grouper. And it was very tasty. It was moist and tasty. It wasn't like sword. My brother used to love swordfish. It was like $9,000 a pound.
You don't eat swordfish. It's got worms in it.
Yeah,
it's got worms in it.
It was all dry. I never got.
Never eat swordfish.
No, I either grew or I love fried. If it's fried catfish is always.
Do mussels count as seafood? I like mussels.
He said fish only. We're not talking seafood.
But now we'll transition to seafood.
Oh, well, if
mussels.
Fried scallops.
Scallops, yeah.
Lobster. Yeah. I like lobster. I'll take a lobster.
Well,
a lobster roll.
The problem with lobster
is
lobster. It's a lot of work for what you're doing if you're getting
That's why you get the lobster roll.
Plus, it's too tough. If you get the baby rock lobsters, they call them. We get them off the coast of Maine, rock lobsters. As opposed to the song by the Indigo Girls, whoever it was. B-52s. But they're baby, they're tender and you get about 5 of them. They're delicious. Okay, there you are.
I guess I didn't deserve a bless you then, did I?
Did you sneeze? I'm sorry. I thought you were throwing up in the corner.
Throwing up a little bit in my mouth?
Well, you got a little wastebasket bag turned around and he's like, I was puking over there. I don't want to talk about it. What's going on with you last night? The mountains of Macon.
At least I gesundheit.
Yeah, bingo, bango. Let's see. Can I bring up an issue? I don't know why we're not. I can't get to the Hunter Biden and Donald Trump's not going to the debates. Even Jake Tapper says Trump was right. Immunity in Fulton County and some of the causes on that.
Well, they're all just going after who's going to be the VP.
Yeah.
And who would want to be VP under Trump.
Yeah. And Vivek already says no deal. I don't want.
He's not going to do the VP. No. Oh, that's a shame.
He already says I don't want to be. I'm not in this.
Well, they all say
they all
that.
have to say that.
Yeah.
That may be wrong. All right, let me ask you a question. This question.
He'd be perfect.
And again, it's kind of a sensitive question, and it might be just me. I won't say which one, but I go to a store frequently to buy things, carrots for the stable.
Is this store somewhere out in public?
No, it's a store that I go to frequently in my Alpharetta neighborhood. Okay, between Alpharetta and Milton, and behind at the service counter, not the cashier counter, but the service counter, frequently is one guy who is about probably 25-ish, 20, I'm somewhere in his 20s, has never had an expression on his face other than almost a scowl or neutral at best. And anytime we go up to the service counter, and he's there, he comes over, never says a word. He walks up to the service counter, doesn't say a thing. I have to say I'd like a $5 Fantasy 5 or whatever it is, or I want to send money to my brother, whatever. And he literally doesn't even say hello, how can I help you, how you doing, nothing. Stands there, stoic face, nothing. I'll give him the $5. He gives me back the 5 tickets, nothing. No word, no comment, no nothing. I even one time I said, boy, wouldn't you love to win a sewing line that? Nothing. Now, I mean, it's just...
It's you.
Now here's the other. Now, should I complain? I mean, it's almost, and finally, I always go, so yes, please, could I please have the so-and-so, please? And then when he gives it to me, I say, thank you, I appreciate it. And he's not said a freaking word.
Maybe he's autistic or has Asperger's or something.
No, that's not, because I see him talking to other people when he said they're at the other end of the counter in the register talking about what they're going to do and stuff like that.
You don't like it?
He just doesn't like customers. When he has to talk to his own people, tell them what's going on. Oh, did I mention that he has a huge afro and he's black? And I think it's a racial thing. I think he doesn't. I think he looks at me funny because I wear my Marine Corps hat and stuff. And I think it's. Honestly, I think it's a thing. I think it's a thing against me. And I don't want to say anything because I don't want to get the guy in trouble. But he's the most unfriendly, unhappy, uncooperative, non-service counter guy I've ever known. He's at the service counter. Hi, can I help you send that money to your brother in Guatemala or whatever? He just stands there.
He doesn't have cerebral palsy, too.
No, trust me. He looks like a freaking athlete. He looks like, the OJ Afro from the movies. He's about 6'4", 210.
That music couldn't come any sooner.
Yeah. I don't want to say it now. Should I complain? He's a service customer.
No.
See what I mean? See what I go through? This is my life.
White boy.
How could I possibly be normal? It's 4:45. Shut up. Get off my back.
We're at a party.
I'll give you a dollar.
Reached in and grabbed it. What a rock job.
$4.49. How you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. I don't know this song. Already. On the One-Eyed 909, is that what he's saying?
And tell him who this is. Flounder.
That's the Beatles, right?
Yes.
I know. They're doing their country music impersonation of Kiss Me Buck Teeth, My Tonsils Itch. I'm fairly sure it was the title of this song. 1966. I mean, they were deliberately doing I mean, tell me the story. Is there a story behind this?
They just...
No? They just did a song?
909.
Well, I'll be darned. Anyway, on this day in 1966, the Beatles did their last ever American tour. 2 cities due to cancellation because of rain the previous day. They went to Crosley Field in Cincinnati, Ohio, and then to St. Louis for a concert at Busch Stadium, performed under a tarp because of heavy rain. It was this gig that convinced Paul McCartney that the Beatles should stop performing live concerts. On this day, 1968.
No.
That's what it said.
Long before 68, they quit touring. They toured.
Well, they
last
toured
in
here.
65 or 66.
Nope.
Their last concert was in Candlestick in San Francisco.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but
they were not touring in
68. They went on tour. They were doing a concert at the Tarpaulin Rain and Busch Stadium, and this day in 1968, and that was because of the rain. Said, okay, no more.
Let me look at this here.
I'm reading it right here.
Somebody posted earlier about Crosley Field because their father was a photographer that day.
Yeah, Cincinnati. They went there on this day. On their last ever tour, performed in 2 cities due to a cancellation due to rain the previous day. They had to delay it a day. They went Crosley Field in Cincinnati, then went to St. Louis for Busch Stadium on this day, 1968.
Wait a second. Let me look it up. Hold on a second.
I'm sorry, 66. Well, there's
everybody.
There's a pencil mark over to my number.
I told you it was 66. I mean, my entire life, right in front of me was going, am I nuts? Sorry. Am I insane?
Well, look at you can see the pencil mark over there.
I should have bet you.
So the 6 looked like an 8 because of the pencil mark.
All right, we got a phone call.
Well, I mentioned my birthday. It's got in my birthday list, and birthday, Jackie DeShannon. Remember her, the singer? Jackie DeShannon is 80 freaking 2. Put a Little Love in Your Heart, What the World Needs Now, and she co-wrote Betty Davis' Eyes. Jackie DeShannon's 82 years old. And I mentioned earlier a former TV anchorman who I may still be doing public TV stuff for all I know, Harry Smith. Is 72 today.
And Owl says he went to high school with him here.
Hey, Owl, you're on the radio, man. How's it going? Tell me about Harry Smith.
Hey, Cameron, great to hear you back on the radio.
Thank you.
Went to high school, far south suburbs of Chicago.
Uh-huh.
Harry always kind of thought of himself a notch above everybody else, hung out with the cool group.
Really?
Not always a big fan, but I mean, look, how many decades has he been working in the media? He's obviously a lib.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Now, I'm sure you couldn't tell anything bad. We were all liberal back in high school, basically. Most people, I think, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, was he one of the smart guys? Was he one of the smart guys as the in crowd, or just popular guys?
In crowd, tried to be in crowd, tried to hang out with. He kind of. Pushed off anyone who we didn't think was in the in crowd.
Really? He doesn't seem. I'm guessing he was not a jock. He didn't seem very athletic to me, but I don't know.
No, I think he played basketball. I'm not sure if he played anything else. If it was football, but I think he played basketball for a year or 2.
Huh. Anyway, and when was this? May I ask? In high school?
I graduated in 69.
69, I'll be damned. Excellent. Well, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you're listening to the show, and tell your friends, and thank you. Call anytime. We appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
No, I don't feel so bad about calling him boring. He was a jerk in high school.
Well, there you are. Weren't we all? Actually,
I wasn't a jerk in high school.
Either was I. I was very popular, actually. Prep school. I was a leader.
Yeah.
Well,
you didn't get any, though, did you?
No, get any what? It was an all-boys prep school. Yeah. Well, one of the assistant principals, assistant headmaster, used to wake him up in a little kind of a funny way in the morning at the dorms.
I went to school in Gwinnett. We were all getting laid. It was mandatory.
Nobody was having sex, and nobody was having sex. Not one person in my group in prep school, and we graduated in 1964, and not one of us had been having sex. Not one.
It was an elective at Parkview.
It was probably in the driver's ed card. They didn't use it on Wednesdays. There are too many people in the back seat.
Off Oleander Drive.
Oh, my God,
if you know Lilburn, you know Oleander Drive.
Oh, my God, man. I love it. A Chinese energy firm that paid Hunter Biden millions of dollars also funded a government program with the United Nations on climate change, and they've been hiding the money for years and years and years. The scheme revolved around using this Chinese guy named Ho, and they would use the Chinese funds to pay foreign officials associated with the United Nations in exchange for unfair advantage in future deals for their business arm, disguising payments as charitable donations or campaign contributions. Now, I'm deliberately reading this because it is very complicated, almost impossible to understand. But thank God the House Oversight and Accountability Committee is in on this stuff. And let me make another point. This is the most important point for you to remember between now and the election day. The only reason we know that any of this stuff has come out, any of it has come out, is because of a few extra Republican members in the House of Representatives. If we had lost the House like we lost the Senate, you wouldn't know any of this. Not one iota of this stuff. If it weren't for the Republicans, we got a 5 majority in the House. Please, this elections do count. This is more, and again, this is so complicated. For example, they have months before the December indictment on corruption charges, this guy Ho wired Hunter Biden's shell company $1 million for legal fees, placed a phone call to James Biden, Joe Biden's brother. When he went to trial, prosecutors alleged that he tried to facilitate the sale of Chinese weapons to countries like Libya and South Sudan, where he helped Iran access a sanctioned bank account in the Uganda. Now, that's just one. There's a Uganda scheme, the business arm of the Chinese Communist Party, and the chief executive, a wealthy Chinese businessman with ties to the People's Liberation Army, Hunter described as his business partner in 2020 court filings, began communicating about a prospective business partnership, according to the House Oversight Committee, while carrying out agreements with the UN contact squad. It goes on. I've got 3 pages, single space, of all the schemes. I don't understand this stuff. I don't. Do you understand this?
I know that Ho had some Confederates with him.
Apparently.
Some Ting Wong, dumb guy, chin too fat, why you poo,
some young dong. I think there's a whole
no Pa King.
I mean, but again, this is so complicated, and it's all business dealings that you can't possibly follow unless you're going to the beginning of it. And this is what they're
Lay Ying Low.
Wei Ying Low.
Lay it on.
Oh, mercy. I don't get. And again, if it weren't for the Republican majority, you wouldn't know any of it.
It all been under the. And imagine all the stuff that they've gotten away with over the decades that we have no clue about.
That's right. They've been. The Biden family's been doing this
since the 70s.
He was the king of the credit card companies in Delaware since at least the 50 years.
Because there's only 14 people in Delaware.
Yeah. So I mean, please, Donald Trump's not going to do the first debate. Probably won't do any of them. I don't even know how many there are. I know there are at least 2. First one's in Milwaukee, and it's this Wednesday, 2 days from now, and we will be doing the show till 7, right up to the debate on Wednesday. And apparently Donald Trump has already done the interview with Tucker Carlson that they're going to play Wednesday against the debate.
Yeah.
So he's already done the interview with Tucker Carlson, and they'll play it at the same time, 7 o'clock on Wednesday night. Trump is leading the rest of the pack. He's leading DeSantis by 40 points.
Well, that's okay. The first time you run, you usually don't win the first time.
Yeah.
The Barack Obama type thing, The Donald Trump thing is kind of rare that you win the first
The
time.
Trump thing's very rare.
He never should have gotten into the mix.
Yeah.
He should have stayed in Florida. DeSantis. He should have stayed in Florida, kept his head down, and then in 4 years.
You got to get your name out there. You got to get out there. Because what is he going to do? Once he leaves the governorship of Florida, then he'd be floating around with nothing to do for, a couple of years.
Well, now again, I'm hardly a political analyst, but it seems to me the only possible goodness out of this for him would be to become vice president. Assume Donald win,
he's not going to
and then take over in 4 years. But again, otherwise, if he can't beat Trump.
But that's funny.
He's going to come back.
He's going to be the number one guy if Trump loses. If Trump loses, of course, if Trump starts a third party, we're all screwed again.
Yeah. Anyway.
But DeSantis is the number one guy if Trump loses.
Yeah. All right, look out. Hold on. It's 5 o'clock. We got stuff in Holy Crap of Sports and Skynet and tweets and comedy and issues. And I'm getting my boots fixed. Ladies, left shoulder, right of blank, ready on the dog, target. Road guards out. Look now, it's 5:03. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. How's it going? Happy freaking Monday. The Mets are in town. We got Pete Davis, Holy Crap at Sports, coming up. We got the mechanical mangler at the controls, Flounder. Boys, we didn't even talk. How was your weekend? Pete, any exciting weekend action there? You mentioned you forgot to go to the rodeo.
I did. I forget. Well, I tried to go out to dinner Saturday night beforehand, and all the tourists were in town.
Really?
Because it was in Blue Ridge. So I went into Blue Ridge, and all the tourists had filled up all the restaurants.
Really?
Yeah, so I found a dive bar, and that was fun.
I'll be damned. And Flounder, how about you and Miss Veronica?
We did. Her niece had softball practice, so we took her niece to softball practice and then took her to lunch.
Well, how old is her? Like an 8 or 9 year old kind of little girl?
She's 7, I believe.
No kidding. Well, that's a very sweet thing. That shows that you're good with children. For Miss Veronica to know, just for the
Still pulling the wool over her eyes.
No. You pretend you like children. Honey, I love children. Here, let me get a little pat on the head and stuff like that.
Get away from me, kid. You bother me.
Pull my nose.
They're great,
finger.
they're great for the afternoon. But it's even better when you can leave them.
Yeah, I got your nose. Did the whole thing. Pony ride. Who's going to take a pony ride? I got all that stuff.
They're like cats. At the end of the time, you hand them over to them, say, I'm going home.
There you go. Anyway, how about, do you mind if I do a sports birthday?
I do not mind at all. Go ahead.
Willie Lanier.
Yes, sir. Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs, 78 years old, Hall of Famer, both college and pros. And I remember as a kid, for some reason, I don't know whether it was before they combined the league. I don't remember. But anyway, back in the day with Hank Stram was the coach of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Matriculate down the field, boys.
That's right. Where before he had his toupee, and I remember Willie Lanier was just one of these monsters in the hole in the front of the like guard tackle, nose tackle guys who just would kill you.
Who was the guy named Buck?
Curly Culp. Was the other one. Curly Culp was the other nose tackle who looked like a monster.
Oh, gosh, what was his name?
Buck Buchanan,
yeah. That was
was long. He was like almost like more of a Jack Ham kind of a long-armed sort of a... But those guys, man, that was one tough defense right there. Those were tough guys.
I love Lynn Dawson, Otis Taylor.
Yeah,
I love that team.
Yeah, that was a fun team to watch.
And the greatest photo of all time, at halftime at one of the Green Bay Chiefs Super Bowls, you have Lynn Dawson, and he's sitting on one of those little chairs.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
And he's smoking a cigarette. And he's got a bottle of Fresca on the floor next to him.
Yeah, it was a different time. It was a different time. Let's see. On this day in history, 1994, 29 years. John Denver was arrested for drunk driving after he crashed his Porsche into a tree.
Porsche.
And he crashed his Porsche into a tree in Aspenshire, Colorado, where he lived, and the trial ended in a hung jury. Even though his blood alcohol was 0.12, which is like 3 times the limit or something. Anyway, his attorney argued that John Denver's thyroid condition made the test unreliable. He crashed that Porsche. It was just thyroid. It was, kind of a thyroid thing. And by the way, at first I was going to joke and say, they took away his car and gave him a plane. But the rest of the story is that the trial, by the way, again, 1994, drunk driving, crashed his Porsche in a tree in Aspen. Okay, Porsche. The trial ended in July 1997, 3 months before John Denver was playing a round of golf. They played 18 holes at Pebble Beach. His buddy said, hey, let's play another quick 9 at Cypress Point. And he said, nah, I'm done with golf. I'm going to take my homemade plane out, which he did, and crashed it and died because he couldn't reach behind him for the emergency extra gas tank lever.
They said, well, you need to take a shower because you just played golf. He goes, no, I'll wash up on shore.
Wash up on shore along with Princess Di is one way of doing it.
Natalie Wood.
Natalie Wood. But he was not, he had no alcohol in his system. It was a bad design. He had to reach behind him to get the lever, and he didn't make it. So, my God. That's horrible. Anyway. All right. Let's see. You want to do any newsy stuff? 508. You want to do a Jake Tapper thing? I don't really feel like it. You want to do that or not?
I don't know. It's after 5 o'clock. People are trying to drive home. They're
I know.
up to here with your nonsense.
Well, did you hear our correspondent? Our correspondent. Oh, okay. Well, let me do one nitpick. I've had my toaster oven. I have an Oster, O-S-T-E-R. I think it's a brand. Oster toaster oven. And it's a big, nice square thing, and it's a toaster oven. It has 3 dials on it, whatever. So it's been acting up, and I think it's not working fast like it used to. I've had it for like 12 years, so I'm thinking, well, it's all charcoal burned on okay. So I went shopping this weekend, Sunday afternoon. I went to the stable.
Sunday.
I went to the not Walgreens. What's the other one? Walmart. Went to Walmart, and I finally look around. By the way, they don't have greeters anymore. I guess they don't have anybody who knows anything about anything.
Focus toaster.
Right. So I finally walk around. 20 minutes later, I find a section that's got kitchen stuff in it. It's not in the kitchen section. It's in a nearby. It's good. Okay, and they're all either old-fashioned toasters where it's just you put the bread in the toaster and slam it down, or they've all got air fryer and all like 3 different combination things now.
So
I didn't get one.
What's wrong with the one you put them in the top and slam it down?
I want a toaster oven, not a toaster.
They don't make those anymore.
I think I just said that. I think I was explaining why I was all upset about my rant because I couldn't find a regular stupid stinking toaster oven.
Once again,
what do I got to get an app to try to find one? I guess probably now, huh? I mean,
Amazon.
I bet I got to. Why don't I just go on the internet like I always do with everything else?
Like all other 5 billion people on this planet.
Yeah,
do.
like I'm going to get my freaking jockeys and my colored pouch jockey shorts. It weighs 34. Yeah, I'll probably try to figure that out one day. Anyway, our correspondents at the Babylon Bee have informed us that Hillary the hurricane made landfall today in California, quickly destroying tens of thousands of emails upon her arrival. My house is fine, but my email server annihilated, said San Diego resident Jim McKay. Nature is so weird like that. Despite weakening to a Category 1 hurricane, Hillary still packed a vicious punch upon making landfall. I'm okay, but the storm somehow crushed my cell phone, said local woman Alicia Gonzalez. I mean, it's like someone took a hammer to this thing. People are letting down their guard because Hillary is weakened, but she's still got power where it counts. According to officials, the final toll of Hillary's destruction may range into the hundreds of thousands of emails. It may be a catastrophic loss of data, of course, said Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. I myself was not spared, as all emails relating to bribery money from USC and my friendly relations to Castro's family have all been wiped out. So sad. And by the way, in a heartwarming ceremony, President Joe Biden, President Crime Family, has awarded the prestigious Medal of Honor to Kaleo Manuelo for his work conserving water during the deadly Hawaii wildfires. When people begged for water to save their homes, their very lives, Mr. Manuel had the courage to stand firm and say no, said President Biden. That's the kind of climate change warrior this administration wants to honor. This is the end. And he said in a speech, we have to start saving water now and push out those old negative voices saying, I'm burning alive and this is the end. We have to hold firm if we're going to build an equitable climate for the future generations. And by God, he's on his way over there soon, lady. I guess he's flying now, I think.
Yeah.
He was at Lake Tahoe, I believe, and resting. And
we're figuring out.
And then he's going to Hawaii for a couple of minutes, and he's going to walk around saying, boy, this is, here's that $700, I promise you. And then he's going back to Lake Tahoe for the rest of the week.
You're kidding me.
No.
You know how long that's at least an hour to the coast.
Yeah.
And then it's 4 or 5 more hours to Hawaii.
Yeah, so he's got to take the rest of the week off. He's going to spend the rest of the week off in Lake Tahoe to rest up.
His vacation is around 40% of his presidency. He has literally been on vacation.
And Pete is not making that number up.
No. It was 39% a couple weeks ago. It's got to be 40% now.
And incidentally, and we're not making this up either, they've actually caught that his schedule basically is, when you really look at his schedule and see what he's doing, he really works from work. He has meetings from around 10 to 2 in the afternoon, 10 in the morning to 2 or 2:30 in the afternoon, and he leaves. He's gone by Thursday afternoon. It's over.
Well, he's got breakfast, then he has nap, then he has second breakfast.
Then you have pudding.
And then there's afternoon nap.
Then you have
Jello. Then there's Morrison's for the early bird special at 6.
And then he got the Judge Wapner marathon.
Wapner.
I'm an excellent driver.
Excellent driver.
Oh, my God. Oh, Lord. Oh, by the way, have you heard what our chief executive is doing to the border wall?
You're a little late.
You're coming. Oh, God, I just don't have time now to tell you about it. 5:13. See, you just don't get this kind of stuff everywhere. National Radio Day, my ass. 5:13. Yeah. Yeah, let's celebrate that. Pete's next. Look out. old. But apparently, because of all the beatings he took during his football career, he has got early onset dementia. Pretty sad. Now, holy crap at sports with Pete Davis.
A little breaking news in college football. Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh will have a 3-game suspension put on him by the school.
Really?
Because he was doing some extra practicing during the China virus thing, so they called him.
Well, that's not
him
that
aside.
big a deal. I mean, it's not like
They broke the rules.
Well, but it's not like he's paying athletes to show up or something.
Big Ten. They're always looking down their nose at everybody else, so the heck with them.
I know.
Braves have those disease-ridden Mets and their flea-infested fans in Truist Park tonight for the first of 3 games. You got Alan Winans recalled from Gwinnett to start against his former organization. He pitched really well against him up in Flushing. Yeah. And he's going against some loser named Peterson. Michael Harris II should be back in the lineup tonight after missing Sunday's game when he fouled a pitch off his foot. So we got that going for us, which is nice.
Matter of fact, I'm going to have to leave early because I got to warm up.
That's right. I hope you are pitching for the Mets. They could use you. Yanni Chirinos placed on the injured list with inflammation in his pitching elbow. Oh, my arm. Whatever. And Angel Hernandez.
Is he behind the plate?
He was yesterday.
Oh, God almighty.
And all of social media was going nuts. He missed call after call. And I guarantee you, it's because he lost that lawsuit.
Yeah.
They kicked
can't
it
stop
out.
him.
And now he's like, screw you. I'll do whatever I want back here.
Can't stop
Fire him.
Yeah, can't stop him.
Anyway, it was great to see Rico Cardi in town. One of my favorite, the big boy.
I had him on my phone the day they had the parade.
You did?
I did. I'm flounder.
Oh, that's right. You came by on your parade.
Rico Cardi was the second one on the Stampede.
Rico Cardi was a hell of a hitter.
Yeah.
He's not in the Hall of Fame because he was injured a lot, but that guy could hit.
Yeah.
Great. And by the way, Eddie Rosario has just been named the National League Player of the Week.
Good for him.
It is very good for him. Yeah. It's like every week another Brave gets named that. It's really cool. Congrats to the Braves. They became just the 5th franchise of all time to do what over the weekend?
Set an attendance record? 10 million or something?
The 5th franchise in Major League history to win 11,000 games. Name me the other 4. This is a great bar bet, by the way.
All right, now I assume franchise
I guarantee
Milwaukee and Boston, though, too, right?
Yeah, Boston, Milwaukee.
Okay, so
the whole franchise.
So from the beginning of the franchise.
Beginning of it.
Well, obviously the Yankees.
No.
Wait a minute.
No, they were the Highlanders. They were in Baltimore. They screwed around a long time before they became a real team.
Like Cincinnati, weren't they one of the original Redlegs?
No, they're not either. I'm telling you, this is a great way to win money. This is a great way to win money.
Then the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah, Dodgers are 1. Giants are 2.
Dodgers, Giants, Braves.
No, Braves, yes.
Phillies.
No. Phillies, in fact,
Indians.
The Phillies have the most losses probably ever.
Really? Indians?
No. Indians were losers for decades. Come on.
I'm trying to think of who the winners were for all those years.
Well, one you should get. The other one you will not get.
Red Sox?
No, not the Red Sox. I'm telling you, these are hard.
The Pirates?
No. You're running out of teams.
Oh, my God, running out of teams.
Think about it. Who outside of the Yankees, who's won the most World Series? Come on. National League.
Oh, the Cardinals?
Cardinals.
The Cardinals, of course.
So
Stan Musial Day.
Who's the last one?
The Bears. No, they have
the Chicago Bears?
No, that's wrong.
There's no baseball team called the
Cubs.
Denver Bears.
Yeah, the Cubs.
The Cubs.
The Cubs, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they've been around for, I'll be damned. So it's the Cubs, the Cardinals.
Remember it, because the Cubs and Cardinals are arch enemies, so you can remember it that way. The Giants, Dodgers, arch enemies. Remember that.
New York teams.
Right, and then the Braves.
And the Braves, I'll be damned.
That's a great way to win some money right there, by gosh.
Wow. And it's 11,000 wins, is that what?
11,000 wins.
Wow.
Former Braves reliever Luke Jackson, now with the Giants, says San Francisco fans are okay, but they can't hold a candle to Atlanta fans.
Whoa. There you are.
Dodger Stadium got an unscheduled pressure washing over the weekend and flooded at least the parking lot. That should cut down on the amount of stabbings between Dodgers and Giants fans this weekend.
That's a good sign there.
It doesn't matter if the teams are playing. They just meet there and stab each other. Carson Beck will open the season as the #1 Georgia starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Carson Beck. He looks like he really should be like a doo-wop singer. He's kind of skinny. He's got great hair. But he looks like he's a teen idol or something.
I was reading about him, and apparently he's like 6'4" and 220 or something. And they say he would from the beginning he really looked like he was ready to do it because he's had more experience for one thing with practicing.
Good luck to him.
Yeah.
Adam Facebooks that the 2023 Bulldogs are expected to go 12-0 this season. That's 12 arrests, 0 convictions. Maxie Baughan, a college football Hall of Famer from Georgia Tech.
Yes.
And a 9-time Pro Bowler in the NFL, has passed away. He was 85.
I remember Maxie.
Natural causes. He was living in Ithaca, New York. Played 6 seasons with Philadelphia. Had family members with him when he died. He was from Forkland, Alabama. Played for Coach Bobby Dodd at Tech. He was a linebacker and a center. Second-round pick by Philly back in 1960. Started as a rookie for their championship team that year.
Yeah.
I also played for the L.A. Rams. He was assistant coach at Tech from 72 and 73. But he was a head coach at Cornell for the 1988 Ivy League co-championship, the school's first since 1971.
And you're talking about?
Maxie Baughan.
Maxie Baughan.
Named one of the 12 semifinalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame's class of 2024. Once again, they wait too long to do stuff like this. Archie Manning says Maxie Baughan was a fierce and highly intelligent competitor, established himself as the best center in the nation in 1959. Let's see, he's Georgia Tech Hall of Fame, Eagles Hall of Fame. And Brent Key, the current Tech coach, says Maxie, one of the most legendary figures in our program's history, a shining example of what a Tech man is. That's a good way of saying it. He's survived by his wife of 62 years, Diane.
And how old was he?
I think good thing I didn't throw this piece of paper away.
Really, sorry.
85.
Well, the reason I have a thing, a lot of times I used to catch myself when you hear a broadcast, if you're turning into a thing and you miss the first 5 seconds of a guy talking, and he talks on and on about the guy did this, but never mentions his name again, and I have to catch myself to remind you that people are tuning in and didn't hear who you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about for 5 minutes.
You know what, Flounder? I liked it more when he just stood up and stuck his hands down his pants in the middle of my sports and interrupted it that way.
Well, that's what I'm trying to explain.
Have you found yourself some new boxer briefs?
Don't get him started.
I've got to get the app to figure out how to put the app on my phone app.
Let's focus. It's sports time right now.
Yeah.
ESPN has its strength of schedule FPI index out. Georgia has the 31st toughest schedule in the country, according to them. Guess who has the hardest?
Wait, Georgia has the 31st. Shouldn't they make the national champion have like a top 10 schedule?
That's the NFL. That's not how college football works.
Wow.
The teams choose who they want to play.
So the toughest schedule of all
Alabama is 18th hardest, Tennessee 7th, Florida the 2nd, and what team has the hardest in the country?
Notre Dame? Ole Miss.
Would I be crying if it was Notre Dame? Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
That's the hardest.
Now, why did they do that?
I don't. Well, they're in SEC West for once, and the SEC West has LSU, has Alabama.
Well,
Arkansas is going to be better this year.
So it's really not their fault. It's just they're in that concert.
Yes, sometimes it is.
In that conference, yeah.
Good for them. They're starting off with Mercer. Sorry,
Agnes
Bears fans.
Their fourth homecoming.
That's Georgia. Just months after finally agreeing on a 12-team playoff beginning next college football season, SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey says, we're going to have to re-examine all this because of the realignment.
Oh, boy.
So here we go again.
Yeah.
David tweeted me about some kids in Carrollton High School. Juju Lewis had 333 yards, and Bryce Hicks had 5 touchdowns and an interception.
Holy cow.
Yeah, heck of it. The Falcons tied the Bengals 13-all in Mercedes-Benz Stadium Friday night. They look pretty good. The Bengals are a good team.
Yes, they are.
Played a lot of, the lower people. But rookie running back Bijan Robinson looked great. It's Bijan, not Bijan.
Bijan.
Aha. So did newly signed wide receiver Mac Hollins. Desmond Ridder looked poised in the series. They held it for like 10 minutes the first drive.
And
then he pulled a Matt Ryan. He threw an interception at the goal line.
And I felt so bad for the kid.
I know.
It was a 10-minute drive.
It was a great drive, but too many penalties in that first half.
Yeah.
Did you see Arthur Smith? He's got a mustache now.
No, I didn't. He's got a golf league now. Have you heard about that?
No, that's Arthur Blank.
Oh, who did you say?
Arthur Smith.
Oh, well, never mind.
Let's see. DeMarcus Helms from Alabama played very well.
Yeah.
That's why I like picking the guys from the winning programs. I like that guy.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. Oh, yeah, you mentioned Arthur Blank. Is now the owner of his 3rd pro sports franchise, a golf team, the TGL. It's a new golf league started by Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. We don't know who's going to be playing on the Atlanta team yet, but looks like John Rahm, Justin Thomas, Ricky Fowler, and Max Homa are committed to playing.
And isn't it some kind of a gimmicky thing? Like it's
2 hours, Monday nights during prime time, and it's going to be televised.
Yeah, and
a computer thing.
Yeah, and is it teams or I guess is it team against team or individual? I don't even know.
I think it's team against team.
But is it match play, stroke play? Again, I don't know anything about it. But it's not. What the hell? Monday night golf.
Yeah, that's what it is.
As opposed to Monday Night Football. He's a football owner.
If it's a bad game, yeah. I don't think they'll put it up against. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I mean, you got Monday Night Football still playing, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
If they're going to do Monday Night Golf, and obviously he's putting it up against his own team.
Hey, this date, 1987, Dale Murphy hit his 300th home run, helped the Braves beat the Pirates. In 1931, Babe Ruth, the first major leaguer to hit 600 as the Yankees beat the Browns. And in 1949, the Phillies had to forfeit a game because their fans were throwing bottles on the field.
Did you see Dale Murphy almost fell over backwards from his selfie in the dugout?
And Glavine sprung to action, and Frank Kerr just stood there like,
by the way, Dale Murphy looked great. I mean,
he does look great.
It's just such.
And Glenn Hubbard is so great in the booth. He should do more booth stuff.
I'll tell you, I liked all those guys. I would watch.
I grew up watching those guys, man. That was my team back in the 70s.
Okay, coming up, remember Laura Ball?
The good-looking golfer.
Well, she's in the news and with a kind of an update. And I also have another kind of a
she was one of the first
hotties,
and she caught a lot of flack because she was too good-looking.
Yeah, well, And remember Jan Stevenson?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right,
5:30. We got news, I promise you.
I'm going to get him walk around a little bit.
Oh, baby. All right, look out. It's 5:30. It's only me. It's only the camera. Yeah, there we go. I got to fix my thing up with the thing there. Good day, boy. We got a million things coming up. Flounders, Follies, and Funnies, and all kinds of stuff. Lock them up. Lock them up. No, not just the Biden crime family. The Stones. 1965, the Stones started a 3-week run at number 1 on the album chart with Out of Our Heads, their first U.S. number 1 album, by the way. Incidentally, we were going to do, we'll do it tomorrow if we think of it. We have a list of the top 10 albums as ranked by Rolling Stone magazine, the top 10 albums of all time, right? I mean, not just in the 60s or 70s, of all time. A couple of funny things about it, that there are no new ones on there, and some you may have a problem with, like we all do here, but we'll do that tomorrow. But anyway, talk about
in the rock and roll era, basically.
Yeah, rock and roll album, yeah. Let's see, history, or how about a birthday thing? Oh, Kim Cattrall, Samantha on Sex and the City. She was in Police Academy. Remember her in the Police Academy? And Lieutenant Valens in Star Trek, and Emmy in the Mannequin movie. Kim Cattrall is 67.
Good-looking woman.
Today. She's a beautiful woman. Yeah. I think she's English and moved to Canada as a little girl.
I don't think she's English, is she?
Pretty sure. I was reading that on the thing.
Right.
Also, let's see. Usain Bolt is 37 today, former Jamaican sprinter. Once the fastest man alive. I think his record's been beaten, if I'm not mistaken. And history note. Speaking of, this is kind of weird. It brings back a sort of a memory. 1887.
You remember
1887. I was there, mister. Dan Casey struck out in the 9th inning of a game against the New York Giants. Sports columnist Ernest L. Thayer went home that night and began working on a poem he called Casey at the Bat.
Yeah.
And that was one of the events. There were 2 events that I'm having in my head that I'm getting mixed up. One of the events was I went to Georgia Tech and I recited the poem Casey at the Bat along with some orchestra. I think it was the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra at some pavilion, and I read Alyssa, Casey, I'm the guy. I was doing the poem, reading Casey at the Bat for the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. I mean, of all people, they had me do it. So
you who think there's a team called the Bears in Major League Baseball.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But the other thing I'm thinking about was the other thing I did involving a band was when Sammy Davis Jr. was in town, and I was the guest MC with his personal musician, composer, George somebody. It was Sammy Davis, and now Sammy Davis's own personal composer, and I can't remember the guy's name. But anyway, and I did a Sammy Davis Jr. MC concert. One of those was the one where I faked my resume saying I used to play with the Beach Boys and won 3 Nobel Prizes back to back. Is
that where you were going with all that?
That's where I was going with that. Oh, shut up.
Isn't it time for a Peach Tweets
or something?
George Rhodes?
George Rhodes? He won't remember. M. Cohen. George M. Cohen.
It was something like Rhodes.
Okay.
I don't think it was
doesn't matter.
Rhodes.
No one
George. Oh God. Anyway, we'll figure it out.
Oh my God.
Anyway, we got tweets and we got Pete.
By the way,
we're sitting right here.
Speaking of Sammy Davis Jr.,
Pete tweets. Yeah.
Have you ever heard his version with lyrics of Hawaii Five-0 theme? They're hysterical.
In my back of my memory, I think years ago when it was making the rounds on the Comedy
I've got it on my
Centers
phone. It makes me laugh every time I hear Sammy Davis Jr. doing the Hawaii Five-0. All right, Elon Musk and James Woods are at it for some strange reason. Elon says he's going to get rid of the block thing on Twitter, which I think is a mistake because I love blocking people. I just
well, you don't have the right to.
I only block a-holes.
Yeah.
You know, if you're an a-hole, you're blocked. But anyway, if you're rude to other people, I will block you.
Philosophically, if you want to block somebody on your phone, that's your phone that you're paying for, but Twitter is somebody else's company.
Well, okay, well, you still can mute. I think you can still mute them.
I would think that'd be reasonable. Yeah.
Well, I just don't think. But Elon says this is a way that you will be exposed to opposing views if you have to see them.
Right. Good
Whatever.
Point. Yeah.
And for some reason, James Woods, he didn't like that. And so Elon, ironically, has blocked him.
Well, there you are. See what I mean?
I know.
How do you like me now?
That's pretty good.
And I don't know if that's a real feud. Might be a real thing.
I think kind of is, but what the heck at this point. In Switzerland, you can actually hire a clown to stalk someone for a week. The clown will follow them around, set up traps, and send scary messages to them, and will even smash a pie in their face.
Oh, I got it. That would end badly if you do that to me.
And everyone in Switzerland carries a gun.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Dr. Simon Goddick tweets, there are 5 cultural viruses infecting our country, corroding our values and contaminating our lifestyle.
5 cultural viruses.
1. What did I say?
That's what you said. I want to emphasize
just repeating
that.
what
Cultural.
Okay.
Emphasis.
Number 1, you got to stick your hands down your pants.
I'm being your Ed McMahon. You're the star for this thing. I'm being your...
You are correct, sir. Yes, that's all you should be saying over there.
That's what I'm saying now.
Number 1, men are being feminized.
That's correct.
2, women are being masculinized.
You are correct, sir.
3, children are being sexualized. I wouldn't have done that. I wish you hadn't done that one. Number 4, adults are being infantilized.
Yes.
And 5, and worst of all, everyone is being systematically dumbed down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're correct, sir. The Mississippi Department of Transportation has a literary sense of humor.
All right, sir.
Literally.
Yeah.
One of their road signs reads, drive as slowly as it takes Faulkner to get to the point.
I guess you have to be something of the literary set, but be a little esoteric for your driving experiences.
Well, that's Mississippi for you. Russell Facebook's marriage is such a weird concept. I like you. Want to hang out until one of us dies? Robert asked a musical question. Where can you buy Salisbury's? Because he'd love to make a Salisbury steak.
Oh my God!
I know. Do you like Oreos?
Not really. I like the vanilla double stuff.
That's not an Oreo.
Vanilla double stuff, and I heat them up in the microwave for 12 seconds so they get nice and soft, and then I take the thing on and make them a quadruple vanilla double stuff. Thank you very much, and they're freaking delicious.
Do you know how you can make Oreos taste like cheesecake?
Put cheese in it?
Dip them in sour cream. And there's a lady who does this on the internet, and she does this. She goes, "Oh my God, it tastes just like cheese." To make it taste like cheesecake.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
All right. If that doesn't strike your fancy, how about Little Debbie Swiss rolls? You like those?
I used to like those, and I think they're making less cream in them these days. They're chintzing out on the cream. I used to love them because they used to have a lot of cream in them, I think.
I'm not even going to touch that.
No, go ahead.
Like a lot of cream, do you?
Yeah, like said. Cream. He's a cream boy. Cream
creamer,
puff.
huh?
That's extra.
Like
Six you get egg roll.
Yeah, I like a Little Debbie Swiss roll, heavy on the cream.
Hey, ho, hi-oh.
How about as a cereal?
I don't eat cereal, but sure, why not?
If I see this in the store, I will purchase it.
Well, you got to buy it. It's got sugar and milk together. It's a great combination.
Here is a novel way to find out if a gal you're hitting on in the bar is really a girl.
Uh-oh.
A man has been caught spiking women's drinks with Viagra, figuring if they get a boner, then he can pass on making a pass at it. When caught, the man said, "You never know anymore these days." He's got a point.
My God.
Well, you do what...
at some point.
Do what the guy in the Crocodile Dundee did. He just goes up and grabs it.
Right,
Morbid Knowledge tweets, in 2010, Tokyo officials went to congratulate the oldest man in the city. His name was Sogen Kato on his 111th birthday.
Wow.
Instead, they found his skeletal remains on his bed. He'd been dead for 30 years. His family kept it a secret to continue collecting his pension money.
Surprise!
We're here to help Sogen. Oh, crap.
Oh, golly.
They also say Francesca Mann arrived at Auschwitz in 1943, was ordered to strip. She did so provocatively, like a stripper.
Oh.
It distracted the guards so much she managed to grab one of their guns and shoot and killed a Nazi guard, an officer named Joseph Schillinger. Francesca wounded another guard before they finally shot her.
Shumaganga.
If you're going to go, she obviously knew what was going to happen on this. And 2 tranny perverts kidnapped a young boy in England, had their way with them, and left him naked on the street. Here's how the BBC headline read. Boy left unclothed after Burgess Hill sexual assault by 2 women.
Is that the one where they made him kiss their feet and stuff?
No, that's somewhere over there in it was either Belgium or Scotland or somewhere. It was a bunch of Muslims. They were making little white boy do this. God. And Simpsons did it again. You've heard of Biden's genius plan to black out the sun to stop global warming.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
These are the same idiots telling us to buy solar panels, by the way, which are
block the sun there.
Well, a few years ago, Mr. Burns of The Simpsons declared war on the sun in order to protect his nuclear plant. Mr. Burns' plan was to block the sun.
Block the sun. Simpsons, man, they've been on this thing for 10 years. With Trump, I mean,
yeah,
it's scary.
And Twitter confession: I work for a major supermarket at the self-checkout lane. I see people clear as day steal everything you can imagine, and I just let them. Stuff is too expensive, and I'm not paid enough to deal with it.
Doesn't it beep?
No.
So, in other words, you could just not...
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And finally, when I go out, I always take a bag with me in case I come across a toilet roll not secured in a holder. I haven't paid for toilet paper in 5 years, according to this guy. That's
mercy.
Peace Tweets.
I love it. All right, well, hold everything. It's 5:45 already. Little Founders Funnies. And, Prince Andrew, the horn dog. The latest on him in the Epstein case. Coming up with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Look out. Here we go.
Don't you let them get you up against the wall. 'Cause I'll be there to catch you.
Pete Davis is singing along with the words. Tell us about your...
Oh, my God. This is Sammy Davis Jr. doing a Hawaii Five-0. It's like the perfect 60s sleaze guy.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
You can count on me.
You can count on me. Welcome, Dano.
This is what Kimmer was expecting.
See you next week. And now, the Marvelettes, baby. Say, baby. Standing by for rock and roll. Oh, I used to love this song. Please, postman. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. This was their first release. 1961, Tamla Records released the Marvelettes' first single, Please, Mr. Postman. Went on to sell 1 million copies. The group's biggest hit reached the top of both the Billboard Pop and R&B charts. It's notable as the first Motown song to reach #1.
Best version of the song, too.
Yeah, just a great record. Everybody did it. Carpenters did it. The
Beatles did it. Everybody did it.
Yeah. And this was their first one, and it was their biggest hit, and then bing, bang, boom. A couple of quick birthday things, and we got an update on a story we did a couple days ago, which you won't believe. Also, we'll get to what you got. Quick birthday, Casey Musgraves, the singer, Merry-Go-Round, Follow Your Arrow, she's 35. Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss, the twins, are 42. They sued Mark Zuckerberg for stealing their idea for Facebook. They got $65 million in 2008, and they're still ticked off. Let's see, a historical thing. 1986, a volcano at Lake Nyos in Cameroon, West Africa, erupted. The gas released contained huge levels of carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and sulfur, and it killed every living thing in a 15-mile radius, 1,500 people and every animal.
Yeah.
In 1986. Arthur Eldred put his name in the History Forever books in 1912, inventing and becoming the first Eagle Scout. Mike Rose is an Eagle Scout, a former producer.
Southside Steve Rickman.
Southside Steve. 1923, city fathers in Kalamazoo, Michigan decided their women were getting a little bit too uppity. So they passed an ordinance in 1923 forbidding dance partners from gazing into each other's eyes. And I mentioned Laura Baugh. On this day, 1971, Laura Baugh became the youngest winner in the history of the United States Women's Amateur Golf Championship. She was 16, and she was a knockout.
She was good looking.
She also got into the habit. She was a kid. She was a baby, and she's hanging around with all these PGA adult women. And a lot of them were, they were, an influence of various things. And she was out of her league. She was a kid, and so she'd go to the tournaments and not know what to do. And she was nervous, and so they started giving her drinks, and she became an alcoholic. Laura Baugh became a drinker. She would golf, calming her nerves after turning pro a drink or two. And she almost died in 1996. They gave her last rites.
Wow.
She went to the Betty Ford Clinic, has been sober ever since. Laura Baugh has been divorced 4 times. Oh, she's ready for me then. So that's kind of Laura Baugh. Anyway, that's the thing. With the thing over in the thing. Okay, I'll update this story. This is an incredible story. Last week I mentioned this teenage girl had a fight with her boyfriend and figured out how to settle it once and for all. Pete Davis.
An Ohio teenager sentenced today to 15 years to life in prison after a prosecutor blasted her for her shocking lack of remorse. She intentionally smashed her car into a brick wall to kill her boyfriend and his friend. 19-year-old Mackenzie Sharilla allegedly sought a modeling job from an L.A. agency as she sat in the hospital bed recovering from the crash that killed her boyfriend and his friend. They were 20 and 19 years old. The prosecutor said that after her release from the hospital, she attended a music concert in a wheelchair and then celebrated Halloween by performing a dance routine with friends on TikTok, dressed in what appears to be a corpse costume.
Oh, my God. All right. In her hospital bed, she's trying to get a modeling gig? Hey, guys, we got fans out here. Go see the Braves game. Go Braves. There you go. There's hot babes and everything.
Good-looking women.
So while she was in her hospital bed, and then after she did it,
She went to a concert in her wheelchair, and then she performed a Halloween dance with 2 other friends on TikTok, of course.
Yeah.
Like she's a nurse or something.
Yeah.
And dressed as a corpse.
My God.
And she said, after the arrest, she said to the policeman, can't you just, like, suspend my license for 10 years or something?
My God.
And she had the balls to get up there and say she's sorry, that it was an accident, and that she didn't, maybe one day you can realize that I didn't plan this. When they have her on videotape driving the obscure route the day before, planning it out.
She planned the route. Yeah.
Spoiled little brat.
Yeah. Was she 17 or 8? Well,
she's 19 now.
What happened when she was 2 years ago, I think, finally went to cry.
And they could have given her 2 sentences, one on the other, and they made them together so she could possibly be out in 15 years instead of 30.
Or life. It's 15 to life.
But her parole could be in 15 instead of 30 years.
Well, now I don't know whether this is a state charge. They also have good behavior. She might be out in 6 or 7.
Ohio, I don't know.
Anyway, I don't. But again, she deliberately killed her boyfriend and the other the guy who just happened to be with him.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think she planned that one, but she certainly planned.
She didn't care.
No. Unbelievable. Come on in here. We'll both give you a kiss.
Did she just blow you a
kiss? Some guy's wife. I don't know. I don't know. It could happen.
By the way, Fox just had some guy, I don't know if you saw this, a United airline pilot nutting up at the Denver airport.
For what?
He couldn't get through the parking arm of the gate, so he got I don't know where he found it. He got an axe, and they show him on video beating the hell out of this thing with his axe. And United says, he's on hold right now.
We're not going to let him fly the plane. Let's go.
We're evaluating this.
Buckle up, damn it. I turned on the light. Maybe come back there. In a rather bad mood today. Captain.
I have to pull this belt off.
How many times?
You know what? He should meet the chick that saw the
the monster in the bed, the UFO guy, the creature, not a human. Oh my God! Have you heard about Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew together? Of course, Jeffrey Epstein's dead. There's a new book out now. It's actually it's an A&E docuseries starting tonight. Premieres tonight. Secrets of Prince Andrew. It's a special episode that explores the 63-year-old pervert's life and his disastrous interview on the BBC when he denied even having anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein and the chicks. They say the book says they were together every month. They'd see each other all the time. He used to have Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell at his castle all the time. They went to personal birthday parties at Windsor Castle. They knew the royal family. The Queen allowed him to have them coming to parties. A former model says she met Epstein after a Caribbean shoot, and she was invited to his island, and she was told to have sex with Prince Andrew. And what's the matter?
You have a phone call.
We got a phone call. Let's take it. Let's do it right now.
It is Stan.
Stan the man. You're on the radio, man. Welcome aboard. What's happening?
Great show as always.
Hey, Stan.
Hey, great show as always, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Earlier, you were asking about weekends and how they went, and I had a great weekend, just like I know you guys did. But
how was your week?
Yeah. It was great.
All right, yeah.
I got a new routine for you.
All right, sir. A routine. All right, sir.
Yesterday afternoon, I took my wife's car up to the self-wash mega wash center.
All right, sir.
And pull in there, you run it through the wash, you come out and you pull into the vacuum bay. We're going to vacuum it out.
All right.
And I'm vacuuming my car out, and I look up, and a little black Audi pulls up, and these 2 little girls get out. I say little.
Yeah.
These 2 cute girls get out with their short shorts and their white tennis shoes on, and I'm sitting there saying, oh, my God, this is the Cameron Publix. That's exactly what I thought. So you need to go visit your local car wash, Cameron, on the weekends if you need something else to do.
Maybe I can help them dry the interior or something. It's very possible.
Of course. But
all right, Stan. Stan, we ran out of time, and we're helping.
There's that car wash right across the street from your place. I went there this weekend. It was
chicks. Hot babes?
No, it was empty inside. No bathroom, nothing.
Really?
It was really awkward.
But clean. Oh,
you ever heard of the group Paul and Paula?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ray Hildebrand has died.
Oh, no kidding. Paula. That's a wonderful story.
Yeah.
Hey, Paula.
He was 82.
Hey, Paul. I'll be darned. Anyway, folks, go Braves at 6 o'clock coming up, and all our fans are here in the room. Go Braves. God bless
Both
America.
of them.
Hoorah, I got to go. You're killing me. Semper Fi.